most of the minute. Brutal business entertainment. We coming after everybody. Body's about to fall, y'all. Get it? Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door. Bring out your corpse. Not keeping score. Got it locked. Figure 4. Hit record. Bring the torches with the horde. Kill them all. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. Fuck the world. We'll take on every single challenger. What even is this? Ain't bullshit for 100 songs. I'm all about some shit you never done. Go suck a dong. Fucking cons not ready when I bring the wrath like a fucking con. Hell fire my fucking spine. Hold mics with bloody bombs. Come along, I'll show you death cause you overstep. I'm on with tap, bury you alive, bitch, don't hold your breath. Take that fake chain, asphyxiating till I broke your neck. Raising more hell than Motorhead, hunt y'all like Boba Fett. Fuck these underground rappers too, just little nerds. Clowns on SoundCloud, shout out down, time to thin the herd. Make the rap game my prisoner, my rhythm sinister. I'm Jack the Ripper with literature. Kill them when I get the urge. Been disturbed, I don't give a single fuck about your opinion. Most of these fucking rappers' vocabulary's infant. They catalogs infringement, mine's is just malignant. You don't wanna go to war with me or my contingent. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door. Bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked. Figure 4, hit record. Bring the torches with the horde. Kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger. This world has been corroded and filled with rodents. Motherfuckers think you owe them and looking for a bonus. Without me, you promoters would have crashed like a Bowen. Saints poet, lead them then like Moses. Bring in bad omens. I'm done with acting civil, bite the hand, get crippled. Opportunists all around, even fucking fans are fickle. Only there with you on top, treat us as sacrificial. Pass the pistol, now I'm the devil dancing in the middle. Start with ignoramuses, send them down where Hades lives. Not a fucking thought in their brain, they all just plagiarists. I'm dangerous, aim is miscellaneous, don't play favorites. Don't give a fuck with you, a pagan, atheist, or Satanist. Better watch what you're doing inside my backyard. Don't let us catch you moving heroin powder to black tar. Turn you to track stars, repercussions faster than NASCAR. Brutal business logo on your corpse, your villain still at large. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door. Bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked. Figure 4, hit record. Bring the torches with the horde. Kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger. Be warned, we don't play warrior on the keyboard. We'll strap your whole fucking family to some seaboard. Your hunchback, live your mama's basement. Your ego motherfucker put you on a detour right to the seafloor. Always brutal, ain't no time for the cry babies. Most millennials like ladies while I'm spitting rabies. They hear some shit they don't like and run to find safety. I know that God hates me, I'm Satan's Tom Brady. Get on your Twitter and blog, go eat your Tide Pods. One violence don't need a call, so fuck a dialogue. One body's outlined in chalk all on the sidewalk. Can't get in a church or a mosque, I wonder why not. If I offended you, I humbly don't give a fuck. Middle finger permanently up, bitch, don't interrupt. Feel like Thanos, I'd much rather turn them to dust. Could go on forever like Sisyphus, cause this is us. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door. Bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked. Figure 4, hit record. Bring the torches with the horde. Kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger.
hating on that bitch, started to shake crazy. People started gathering, dripping on my appearance, started grabbing on me, started slitting throats, started with a difference. Now I'm covered in blood, the fuss was alerted. Fuck it, I guess it's back to the mud and living under the surface, and shit ain't even worth it down. There I be living perfect, nobody yelling in my face and calling me ugly and worthless. I am the king of this underground. You cannot fuck with trouble in this ugly sound. When I rock, I will grumble like I'm dumbing them down. When I get to the top, I get bubble like you're loving them now. I see the way they look at me every time, like I ain't nothing, like I ain't worth a dime. But I got something that they ain't never seen. When I bring that to the masses, they gon' see what I mean. Hold up, check this shit out. I be whipping through the shadows at night in a bucket, causing ruckus, doing the unlucky fuckers in my way. When the night is mine, you're Taurus when the moon is shining. You die in a low light, and now you never gonna see another day. The land I come from is done with pine trees. They will never find me, though we smoke a light. Journey into the mist, and you will die like a bitch. Right to the shit, bro, right with it. Yo, you seen the motherfuckers, so well, they so ripping so smooth. When I'm in my groove, watch I do the murder your crew. I'm being like Quasimodo. Mine is the hunchback, raised in a dark cage, and only a lot of jump scraps. I mean, I'm hungry for whether it be the money you're eating, a random junkie. You bitches better feel my tummy on that funky motherfucker that's spreading across the country. If you try and get funny, I'm leaving this bitch bloody top. I see the way they look at me every time, like I ain't nothing, like I ain't worth a dime. But I got something that they ain't never seen. When I bring that to the masses, they gon' see what I mean. Well, I'm a freak, baby.
You got this gift for a reason, man. Use it. Never give up. Never give in. If you gotta go deeper, then go deeper. Fuck it, dude. This is it. Show them who you are. Stop hiding. You are not a coward. I'ma show you hate, I'ma show you pain. I'ma prove to you a birth to dominate the game. Lyrically insane, it's the same since my temper rearranged. How my brain's trained, leading me to pummel all you lames. I'm a fucking beast coming out the east, admittedly psychotic. Tried to take away my life like literally I got it. Been on medication since I was a little kid and got arrested for the only fucking shit that helped me live. Pansy motherfuckers used to laugh at me for how I dress and how I rap to be a white. The judgment made me fucking stressed. It got me tempted by my demons, turn them to a bloody mess. Fucking with a monster speech to murder them inside their chest. It's a fame they wanted me to grab. It's a name that I have. It's a shame how they laugh. Take a look at me, beating everybody's ass. So much talent, all your kids be bumping me when they're in class. Here I come, Mr. One Up. No fear in ya, it's the come up. Hitting ya, I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon. Here I come, Mr. One Up. No fear in ya, it's the come up. Hitting ya, I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon. You're gonna keep lying to people, disguising an evil. Get high with a needle. You're a liar. You might just die in a steeple. You're just a guy, and in my eyes are so feeble. Not buying you sheeple. This time I'll pitch your mind to my easel. Yeah. Remember telling everybody how I'm mentally unstable. Just accept me and be nice because my mindset wasn't able to think at your level. I think I'm a rebel. You think I'm the devil. I'm thinking your life began to bevel and shovel. A head full of deception that you fed your parents, bruh. Never to accept the way you hid your fucking heroin, huh? Then you wanna preach to me about how Jesus is my savior, but from what I see, your bitch ass ain't been on your best behavior. Rap's all I got, dog. This is all I fucking know. How dare you ever think my mindset isn't in my own control? And to anyone who thinks I'm out of line and out of mind, can watch me levitate from all these evil flows. Oh, here I come, Mr. One Up. No fear in ya, it's the come up. Hitting ya, I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon. Here I come, Mr. One Up. No fear in ya, it's the come up. Hitting ya, I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon.
Hey, what up, Lokesters? This is Torchfvce. You're listening to Uncovering the Underground with my man Skippy Ickham on Spreaker Podcast Radio, bringing you nothing but the best in underground music.
Ernie, don't you move, I will shoot you! Hands up! Now! Nothing else now! You're hitting children, sir!
I teach my kids beware of the police.
On the ground now!
I'm not your friend.
Criminalize us.
They will not help in the time of need.
Okay, right, in the United States. I know my rights. I don't give a shit. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. This is America.
They wanna criminalize
Harsh
us.
times that we live in, but the news take truth, put a warp in us. Tell the story, turn back, strict time, put the cork in us. Strict nine to the spine while we trapped in a matrix, just like Morpheus. Cops pop more caps to the back, then baby grit no caps in the wild plan, parenthood abortion us. And all they ever wanna do is orphan us. Just to navigate the laws, every single American citizen gotta turn into a contortionist. Open the jaws and cram laws down my throat like I want a gun tone, but they forcing us. They giving the price to bear arms for them sticking to fight to scare harm. Motherfuckers if they horse with us, making the course to dust. I represent we the people, everybody be endorsing us. And we never ever gonna gun forfeit us. They put the fork in us, now we done. If we really wanna get it, we can run. This motherfucker become something better than whatever they done. I'm a crooked cop, dead for running, cause I'm sick of seeing my brother's blood run. We need reform, but ain't nobody wanna listen, so I feed the storm and arm up like we're ready for war. Get hardcore shit.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. Criminalize us. Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military,
They tryna criminalize us.
innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up.
Criminalize us.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. They getting ready.
Somebody, anybody tell me why the government running the city telling us lies. Because lies every day you behind enemy lines. Busy taking our freedom, don't give a fuck about our lives. Fake news, social media controlling our minds. From the popular opinion, man, I see through the lies. But they portray it to be holy, they deceive with the skies. Wolf leading the sheep, the slaughter was taking in mankind. We need to open up our eyes to the sign, stop being blind. Later the free, well, like a nation confined. Have the population doing tough and non-violent crimes. It's a sign of the times, how many kind of bonds gonna happen before we find a reason for the rhyme. Many times they commit treason before they try for the crime. How many times they take our freedom just for speaking our minds? For the way that we grind up with little nickels and dimes. While we trying to keep my head up with the shaking and ridiculous. I'm fed up homies doing time for crime that we're victimless. Trying to enlighten my people, no one is listening. They only wanna hear about drugs and change lists. Like I'm talking to myself, like the wind is what I'm pissing in. I'm never gonna be a victim of a battle with a mission. I was born a visionary, but most of the world I'm visionless. A vision is when we coming together, now we living this. Made in the brave now, hand in the cage. Sing and slave all the people that took our freedom away. Trying to silence the truth in everything that we say. But I say fuck that, time to load the AK. Time to take this shit back, time to change the way. Cause if we don't change soon, it's gonna be our last day. Gotta look inside ourselves, gotta find a better way. Keep your head up, be strong, and to fight another day.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up.
Criminalize us.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military,
They tryna criminalize us.
innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up.
Criminalize us.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. They get
Pride of Pangaea splitting into different sides. The difference between us was nothing really listening wiser. Geographical positions meant indigenous types of natives all around the world. So why you getting us tied up in the bickering life between a billion sizes, shapes and colors? My brothers and my sisters are riders, and the vision is priceless. Which turned into religion was blinded. A war full of infinite fighting. And with a man-made shit you reciting, if it ain't natural campaigns getting you fighting political matters. Though damn sham killing you guys so your riches get catapult. Enslaved niggas ain't trying to give us collateral. Niggas was mad at those freaking citizens fighting in every single condition that they citizens citing. Assassinated our leaders trying to get us some rights and misled us with information that they give us in writing. I got from them, beat the freaking Christian inside them. And it's time to resist, so we put them in an asylum. If we're giving them rights, then put the same laws that we had for the slaves, y'all. Now them niggas are tied in, and the rage inside of them is freaking igniting. Gangs are forming, drugs gotta get it inside them. So they rage on each other now and really we like it. Now we locking on them niggas up more quicker than lightning. But they let them niggas free, they got a prison inside them. Pineal gland with a stigmatism to blinded. Now they lose when it's all I wonder if they can find it. Since the beginning, that position getting this binded. The media feminizing my niggas for prices. And it's all about riches, homie, it's bigger than ISIS. It's bigger than blood, scripts, and sickness we fighting. Cause when we fight back, then they criminalize us.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military,
They tryna criminalize us.
innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up.
Criminalize us.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a spaghetti with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. They getting ready.
Our people. I've been out Iraq 14 months for my people. You come over here and arm them. They don't have guns. They don't have guns. They
I am not normal, bitch, I'm abnormal. I've got a complex that makes me informal. But wait, there's more, though my life is horrible. Kept up for weeks by the voices that forego normal. Thoughts that have got me so vexed that it feels like I'm drifting along through a wormhole. Can't ignore it though, I'm delusional. Wait, I thought that my name was delirious. Man, I'm feeling slow, I can think a show. No emotions, I think that it's serious. Feeling miserable, I can make it all go away. And I'm feeling so feelingless. Take my hand and I'll show you the way. Need your help to extinguish the meek and the meaningless. Let me show you these beautiful pictures inside of my head. The theatric, the viciousness. Limitless is the way that it seems. Look for yourself, you can see what I mean. Visions of death and the worst of my dreams keep me a slave to a force I can't see. Fortunately, I am not cursed. I've simply just been afraid since my birth. Words, expressions, and hunger, this thirst. Spells and on beats for expressing my worth. First, I felt the grip of the feet. Take me and then knock me off of my feet. Then I step back with the force of release. Spit out my pain, left it all in the street. Eventually, I felt relaxed. Lay back to wait for the day they attack. This war that I wage every day is just that. A war every day ain't no end to be had. Why don't you take a little trip with me? Please take my hand. Let me bring you on a journey to a wondrous land. Inside my mind, you will find I am not who I am. Now the doctors couldn't help me, but I know that you can. Why don't you stay a little longer, help me through to the end? Please don't say that I am crazy, I don't know if I am. All these voices and my choices, I just can't understand. Help me please, journey with me, bring it all to an end. In a strange place, I was raised grateful, I know, never proud of this grave state. See some counting and taught me to save base. Never fall, never lapse, never give chase. I'm a rake bacon, never fake greatness. So perplexed by the hate, made me feel jaded. I got rose complacent with the venomous breath of a man bred through the most incredible stress. Felt the weight of my death that crashed down on my shoulders. Over and cover all this burden that I'm holding. Suddenly cracking from under this pressure until I get dead from this overindulgence. Soulless and hopeless, now I invoke this anger inside of me, larger than oceans. Played by anxiety, I've never tried to be anything but what I am in reality. Constantly battling for my humanity, haunted by all of my endless insanity. I'm the epitome of human shit. Beat myself up with these words that I spit. Deprecate me for my belligerence, cause I'm failing to see that I'm actually sick. Forgiveness is not something I'm gonna get for my shameless yelling impairment of bliss. All this perilousness that I see is just me. Inside of my mind is a treacherous street. Ceremoniously, I'm evolving to be an indulgent, impulsive, erroneous sleaze. Hopefully I'll see the joy of my death. Woefully cocky until my last breath. Save for the crime and the filter I left. Live with the weight of the world on my chest. Why don't you take a little trip with me? Please take my hand. Let me bring you on a journey to a wondrous land. Inside my mind, you will find I am not who I am. Now the doctors couldn't help me, but I know that you can. Why don't you stay a little longer, help me through to the end? Please don't say that I am crazy, I don't know if I am. All these voices and my choices, I just can't understand. Help me please, journey with me, bring it all to an end.
Crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window as you're sleeping tight. I'm the boogeyman, come to life, a mask of bloody shape in the night. Place my hand on your mouth, the other strikes your face. I won't leave a mark, but you best believe my rage will leave a trace. Coming undone, your clothes are gone, what you gonna do now, I ask? Begging for help, your words are noise that lose their value fast. Better keep it down, I'm not the one, I don't give a fuck what your boyfriend has. Beg at my feet, you filthy bitch, and open up that ass. Right here to drag you right at you. Leave you broken down like the feeble little insect that you are. Stop me, I break this of you. Just to taunt you now, I let you feel me violate you with these scars. Cry me a river and take it. Like a good girl, your compliance is a must to make it far. Stop me, defeat me, control me. What's the matter, doll? You didn't know that this moment was ours. Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Just close those eyes and believe that you're safe, my dear. Trust in
locking all the doorways when you try to flee. Not a good idea, I'm death in the flesh and I feast on misery. Tie your hands to your legs and now you'll never leave. I'm loving the noise you make when you fight with me and struggle to breathe. Hit you again, the bruises rise to your beautiful skin is split. Fear in your eyes, I hold them open and fill them with my spit. Feeling my breath on your neck as I force myself to beside your dried up slit. So crying for help won't save you now and only get you hit. Break you or make you berate you. Smother out your hope and leave you empty and dying inside. Now it is coming for you. Just to taunt you now, I let you loose and cut free all the ties that bind. Defiled and beaten today. Leave from trauma blessed upon your flesh until your mind is open wide. All over back. The last thing that you hear before you meet the bag and get the number you're assigned. Just close those eyes and believe that you're safe, my dear. Trust in my words, but beware, I am the one you fear. This pain I bring shall release all the things you hide. Play my game and obey the way of the name or die.
I love you, now love me too. I've been watching you for a long time, girly. Hello, chicky chick, it's time. Let me bend you over and put my dick in your behind. Black candles, scented like cinnamon. To get you all in the mood, pretty corpse grip handles. Cause you're a couple more pounds. I'm hellbound, but we can put together now when I die one day. But for now, eat the booty like pie, even though your lights out. Dig you out, pull your panties to the side. Put my dick in your dead vagina and feel you on the inside. Hentai on the television, so I'm fucking your dead body with tentacles and masturbating. Thrusting and moving my hips, pumping my dick in your dead pussy lips. Yeah, it feels so good. I love you. The feel in my chest. I love you. Tingling in my dick. I love you. Got my hands on your breast. Yeah, your vagina's so cold, but I can warm it up. Yeah, with a lighter or two, and then I put it in and we start to fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I see you, but you don't see me. I love you.
Dead body
I play with your hair. 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 Nobody can love you the way that I do. I love you.
Dead body
I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I see you, but you don't see me. I love you.
Dead body
I play with your hair. 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 Nobody can love you the way that I do. I love you.
Dead body
It's that dead body love, and you know I'm a super freak between the sheets, busting skeets, making dead pussies leak. Oh no, the body's starting to turn. I'm ripping up her guts when I serve her with this word. I'm a sitting man, a necro fucking philiac, leaving dead bitches jaws full of this nutsack. Amen. Amen. Please say a prayer for me. I turn into a different entity when I smoke this drink. I blaze. So now we pick a body, dig the bitch up to make sure that she's a hottie. She got that little body that makes me so hard. See, sticking my dick in every hole on her body. I'm in love with this dead broad. I'm not gonna front. The only time I see is when I spark up this blunt. So here we go. Time to light it up. So spark up this blunt so I can kill this fucking cunt.
I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I see you, but you don't see me. I love you.
Dead body
I play with your hair. 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 Nobody can love you the way that I do. I love you.
Dead body
I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I'm harder than fuck. I see you, but you don't see me. I love you.
Dead body
I play with your hair. 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 Nobody can love you the way that I do. I love you.
Dead body love.
What's up, y'all? It's Lyric Zone from Brutal Business. You're now checking out Skippy Ickham from Uncovering the Underground. Check this shit out now. No one ever treated me like you did. No one ever treated me
I knew I was staring at my bathroom mirror. Eyes bloodshot, shirt ripped, gashes on my cheeks, something like morning. Hearing a voice from the back of my head say, wanna let the love in, was best day. Parasites, no one ever treated me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now, shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you 3-4, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, woulda been cool last week we was hanging out. Now you running your mouth, I ain't no better. Depression win when the shit turns out to be. How the fuck would you know if you love me when you don't love yourself? Dusting on the shelf, rusting away. I could provide, I could confide. I don't open up to too many people, I don't oblige. Parasitic ways got me running from your haze. Manipulation, stimulated by the stimulation. Recreated from a broken nation. Procreation didn't mean shit. Ending up in that snake pit, ain't no way to erase it. They could try to blacklist me, I'm blackballed with the voodoo black magic when the darkness falls. I got two in the chamber, through with the anger, but the white lies got a vamp wanting to kill them all, threatening to take everything and now you're really gone. Can you feel this blonde palm with the blood I'm on? I run the long game, you parasite leech motherfuckers, stay filled with shame.
Mirrors on, man, this shit's crazy.
Parasites, no one ever treated me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now, shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you 3-4, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you.
I can't believe I caught you red-handed. Damn it, it's all for hits. I really wanna get the gunner for you all with let. You said my dick and told me that you did it all for bread. And now I'm here, then I ain't leaving till you all is dead. Fuck, I feel like I'ma really go murder. Take a head off in the middle when they catch you with your bitch, and I'ma get the bun and serve you like a hamburger. Serve. Why you got your hand up, bitch? I ain't your fucking butt. Matter of fact, just hurry, give me all your fucking money. I'ma take it off until the rumble, you gon' meet your doom. You can save it with the bullshit, I ain't leaving till your blood. You feel me? Why you had to ride this pipe though? I told you from the beginning, I'm fucking psycho. And now I'm in the vendor with the mask and rifle, throwing both up in the van, handcuffed with blindfolds. Damn, I'm about to fuck up some shit. But I caught you just sucking this dick. I want you dog, cause I took a walk and I went and bought this, and I wanna be back up in this bitch. I admit that this shit got me pissed. I'm worked up with the heart on this bitch. Don't do it on this bitch. On the real, when I pull this gun, they gon' find you on murder this shit. I'ma roll like a beast. Drunk driving with your head up in the front seat. And I ain't with it when you're dealing with a weasel. I put the gun in every window when I drop heat. I kill the whole house and it gets sideways. It ain't no love, ain't no fun if you don't die. I put the pistol in your motherfucking mouth. You was in the room sucking dick, bitch. Don't cry, don't cry.
Parasites, no one ever treated me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now, shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you 3-4, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you.
about to break it down. Time for changes now. We're raising our guns instead of raising our voices. We're opening fire instead of opening our minds. We're paying for weapons instead of paying attention. We're multiplying, but all we've done is divide. Can you hear us? We're screaming it out loud, screaming it out loud, not messing around. Can you feel us? About to break it down, about to break it down. Time for changes now. Can you hear our voices?
You don't know what it's like to be the bad man, to always have to be the ass no matter the situation I'm in. Always having to justify my laundry list of sins. But do me a favor and take a minute and look at the shit from my position. Never stop to consider to take a gander at the bigger picture. Without this music, the soul within would rot and wither. And without a mortal coil, all the snakes begin to slither, giving way to the pressure of a beast that's truly sinister. I can see it in the bones. Wake it up. Hear the cries of the wendigo. Shake it up. The dead dwell within the snow. Pick 'em up. And you feel the sickness take hold. It's in your blood, spreading within you. It's so infectious. Give it a little taste, you see it's so delicious. Ravenous from the hunger that's become so vicious. You become a slave to your selfish wishes. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today.
The pressure's building up and I'm about to like a fuse to the flame, but I guess that's how it eliminate the pain. Every time we do another show, the mic is like a therapist. Pour my soul atop these noses shows when I blow, and the stage bursts of flame, and the face is filled with rage, and the pick cannot be tamed. Laid away your anguish, just immerse yourself among the waves. Let the music feel you, leaving nothing but your greatness to be claimed. This is what my heart beats for. And all who challenge this will be kicked out the door. Face down, ass up, with your blood upon the floor. No exception for intentions aimed at killing what we work for. Fuck you, bitches, keep it brutal for life. The day I leave this label is the day that I die. Kill the opposition, the recital competition. Ain't got nothing on our vision. You will fall if you convince and suck the dick in.
My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Fingertips electrified, visions inside come alive. Salvation is waiting for me to find the reason why I have not yet learned to fly. My patience is fading, and I won't stand around waiting anymore. I'm sick of sitting here staring blankly at the door. I'll pick myself up off the floor with the strength that I need to engage them all. The power flows forth from below. Speaking of words to bring you home. Inscribe the message upon the stone. Fulfill the void and break the mold. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Save me. My body is a gateway for all the things that can save me. Re-energize and reanimate. Purpose in today. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. The entertainment age is here at last. Too many racing, but not enough gas. Marketing
It's not anymore when there are no rules. Yeah, and I'm just like any other guy. I try to stick a finger in the pie. Sometimes love it ain't enough. The crust is too thick, my gun is getting tired, and we just keep on doing what we do. No time for me, I got no time for you. You better get with it, or you will never get this. So, la 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 la. All I really gotta say to you, you get treated the way you do. So when I'm old and lonely, you'll be old and better. I'll see you later, 'cause I am a content creator, and you're the frustrator, my constant source of inspiration, creation. I hope you're having fun. I hope you like what we have done. We need you to try it. We're begging you to buy it. All it takes is a place and time, some decent music and a catchy rhyme, and people telling people that nobody is equal. Your flashy clothes and your attitude, demanding looks for your latitude. Believe you're on the level. This life is yours to revel. I'll see you later, 'cause I am a content creator, and you're the frustrator, my constant source of inspiration, creation. Yeah, I hope you're having fun. I hope you like what we have done. We need you to try it. We're begging you to buy it. All it takes is a place and time, some decent music and a catchy rhyme, and people telling people that no one is equal. All I really gotta say to you, you get treated the way you do. So when I'm old and lonely, you'll be old and you'll be old and you'll be old and you'll be old and bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Begging for a friend that she know she got a tippy top. She said she got pussy or the mine, and I said give me both. I ain't got time to be dealing with you silly folks. Bless them with another dose, stick her with another pose. It's overkill, I overdose. Swallow to the day you choke. Same story, I suppose. $1 million corner stores, lady hide in my mind. Dollar signs, straight jacket, crooked guys. Betty Crocker, cooking guys. Seen him in his new disguise. Tweaking, see him put another pussy nigga through the sign. He need it, beat this whole nigga ass for the vine. And teach him, he crying out, he begging for his mama. She cheated, baby girl, we steezing. Yeah, teasing. Pull the pussy out so I can tell her how to tease it. Freeze it, when she suck my freeze it. Yeah, that's my Gigi, I'm the go-go to a freezer. Love face, bloody grace. Watch you flip, I'm gonna watch you flip. I'ma sever every single stitch. I'm the contact edge in case that both arrows through the neck brace. I don't wanna hear what you gotta say. Yo, switch up, 12 shades, whether the race, bloody face with every race from Mars. I sound the Mars, I recognize change with the mind. I'm just can't wait to take over what is mine. Prestige killer, the energy, eyes a little quicker than Kennedy's hips. Don't back by the trigger. That neck hawk back. Yo, dog in the pen, you gon' get crowd hands in my room and you gon' get surrounded. Like the misfits, we live in the fountain. Looking for blood and I think that I found it. I'm on the same mood than a mental patient. The stuff is records, massive famines in my basement. So when my heart is on talk, if you ain't got the payments out of my lane, is you remaining nameless.
clear on my surface. Several aspects of my purpose, but never can understand why I feel so worthless and traumatized. Like preteen boys after getting baptized. And man, I'm fainting. Tease it. Put the pussy out so I can tell her how to tease it. Freeze it. When she suck my freeze it. Yeah, that's my Gigi. I'm the burger to a freezer. Yo, stick, I'm cutting it back. It's a bit of yak, ripping it, stitching it back. Suits too tight, let me zip that. Call it saying we taking it back, whole life. That's fist, cut knife, cut throat. I spin in the face, we'll see they choke. To no mud signs of life, talking that dead on arrival. Put this with the pin like it's my survival. Keep the blinds low. Nobody knows once you enter the pin, there's no return until the dividend is on. Remember how you didn't take me seriously? Now I get to watch you burn, and watch you burn. Cause I'm part of that cult life. Cut life and cult life. Cut life and cut life. Cult life and cut life. Cult life and cut life. Ayy, baby girl, we steezing. Yeah, steezing. Put the pussy out so I can tell her how to tease it. Freeze it. When she suck my freeze it. Yeah, that's my Gigi. I'm the burger to a freezer. Yeah, tease it. Put the pussy out so I can tell her how to tease it. Freeze it. When she suck my freeze it. Yeah, that's my Gigi. I'm the burger to a freezer.
Is that a statement or a question? Some you'll regret and others will say until you're ancient. Some will love you, some will play you until it hurts. Don't you forget, pick them well or you might burn. Hard to tell what's straight, what's real from what I see. Hard to separate partners, friends, and enemies. What is fact that can't help but to rack in my brain? The same facts of me wishing they rotten in chains. No escape from this, killing the competition. Never rest until we've died or my foes are beaten. Play it smart before you go for the gun. They all come at you first when you're enemy number one. Every day was evolution, the shit was steady. But I felt the cracks, thinking the shit one of many. Had to check the way your ego was set to inflate. Breaking things apart, making things hard, and world change. The world is turning, I'm falling upwards. Can you reach out and save me? The hope I'm calling for is you. Can I change my fate? I prepare for every case, don't think me blind. Even if I lose, I gain what is left behind. A memory lost, a lesson I'm taught. I even the odds heavily by making my mark. Get in here and fuck with me, Demo Demon, PA. Killing all these rappers that claim to be such a big name. It's kinda funny when you think about it. You brag about your contacts, but lack the songs to back shit. Where's that quality now? It never came back after a visit to OJ's house. Yeah, I got my fair share of people that I don't like, but I don't hide it no more. The feelings that I hold tight. This the best I've ever felt, this the hand I've been given. So when I lay the cards down, it's best to pray for forgiveness. I'll admit I have an issue, a clouded mind. Yeah, I need you to save me, pull me up, I'm out of time. The world is turning, I'm falling upwards. Can you reach out and save me? The hope I'm calling for is you. Can I change my fate? The world is turning, I'm falling upward. Can you reach out and save me? The hope I'm calling for is you. Can you change my fate?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast Show. I'm your host, Skippy Ickham of Brutal Business Entertainment, and you are listening to us through Spreaker Podcast Radio Systems. Whether you're listening through Spreaker itself or you're listening on one of the many platforms that we are on, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, you name it, CastBox, we are on there. Make sure you hit the share button, the follow button, and the like button the more that you share us around, the bigger and better things that we can do with the show. And we're always bringing you fresh guests that are definitely people you need to know about, and tonight's certainly no different. We'll jump into our guest here in a moment, but I did want to thank our sponsors, Tattooed Scumbag Apparel, and you can check them out at www.tattooedscumbag.com. Again, that is www.tattooedscumbag.com. They sell wonderful merch, hats, beanies, hoodies, t-shirts, sweatpants, socks, you name it. They're a sponsor not only of my company and radio show, but as myself, Skippy Ickham, as an artist. And if you put in promo code BBE10, yes, BBE10, you will get 10% off of your overall order. It is ran and owned by a local tattoo artist, Joe Ball, here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a good friend of mine, and someone who has a great business, not only with his tattoo shop, but also with his merchandise line, and we want to make sure we support him. So check his stuff out. If you are a tattooed scumbag like me, you will love it. It's comfortable, it's great to wear out, it has a good look and good feel to it, and a lot of really good designs. We also want to thank Legion Artwork, R3 Graphics, who makes all of our flyers, Roush Designs, and 5 Milligrams Artwork as well. You can also check out Brutal by Design Apparel on Facebook, Brutal by Design, which is another company I've worked with extensively over the past several years, and you can check them out, like I said, on Facebook, and check out all their merch line as well. And we do want to tell you, if you're looking for any updates on Brutal Business as well, with any events coming up, any of the wrestling shows coming up, the model shoots, radio shows, whether it be this one, Uncovering the Underground, or it be my separate podcast that I do, Celestial Oddities, Pair of Normal Guys podcast, where we talk about anything from aliens to cryptids, ghosts, and demons. You can check that out on the site as well. There's a player for both radio shows. And as always, as I mentioned earlier, please hit the share button. Share us around. We would really appreciate it. We're going to jump right into the interview tonight. We have a wonderful guest on the show. Originally from North Carolina, now currently residing in South Carolina. He goes by the name Torchfvce, and he is an awesome underground rapper. I keep using the term grimy rapper because when I listen to his music, that's just what it makes me feel like. I'm like, man, that shit's grimy. So I love that he's doing what he's doing. He's making a big impact. I've seen a lot of buzz around his name, and certainly glad to have him on the show tonight. We're going to give you a little bit of a background on him, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the interview itself. If you are listening right now, you can go to Spreaker.com, that's Spreaker.com, or look up the Spreaker podcast app in the app market. That'll allow you to be able to IM us or instant message us during the show, ask us any questions that you would like to ask him, address anything that you would like to say during it, or just interact with the show. We always promote our listeners interacting with the show. We love you guys, and we want you to be a part of it, so please feel free to do so. It might take some ingenuity, because if you are listening through like iHeartRadio right now or Spotify, you would have to pull that up separately, because unfortunately those platforms do not allow you to interact with us live during the show. But as I said, you can listen to this live or stream it and download it after the fact, as I always tell my guests, or all my listeners, I should say. So jumping into it, Torchfvce started rapping around 2012, off and on, but didn't start to really push his music until about late 2015, early 2016. Originally part of a duo named Graveyard Boys, unfortunately the group did not work out, and they split up on good terms in late 2017. Torchfvce decided that at that point he was going to go solo. Also part of and co-founder of the collective and clothing brand Grim Mafia, alongside co-founder Naudus and Bearded Legend, formed spring of 2017. He's experimented with different sounds from dark trap to funk to modern trap influence, from his metal band history tied in with his love for aggressive southern trap. He's generated his sound that we hear today, while doing multiple mini tours around the country, including areas such as LA, all over Texas, and his home state and surrounding states of North Carolina, as well as being tour support for multiple city tours and on the Doubt Me Now series with headliners Cold Blooded, Ominix, if I'm saying some of the names wrong, I apologize. Jay Green, it looks like, and as I said, Cold Blooded, excuse me. Torchfvce is unfiltered, angry rap artist who also throws in lyrical content that touches bases of anxiety, depression, and his own past life experiences that many of us can relate to. And listening to his music myself, I can tell you that there is a lot of feeling and a lot of aggression, a lot of emotion in his music, and we are definitely going to share a little bit with that, to you guys tonight. So we are going to go ahead and bring him on the line now, and we're very happy to have you on the show tonight, homie. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How about you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Just relaxing for the evening and kind of just simmering down from the week so far. Got 2 more days left in my work week, unfortunately, but I'm almost there. It's been kind of an odd week, and just letting it all simmer away. I love getting a chance to speak to artists every week, such as yourself, and kind of just diving into who you are and a little bit about your music, because not only am I a fan of everyone I bring on the show, or you wouldn't really be on the show, I guess, so to speak, I get to find out more about you, and so do the fans, and I love that. It's one of my passions in life, is to help other artists get out there. So, we're appreciative of you being on the show tonight. What's new with you? Anything fun and exciting going on?
Actually. Well, first of all, I just want to give a quick shout out to Young Hearst, Angelo Sanchez. He's the one that made this connection, made this happen. So shout out to the homie. And,
he absolutely did.
But as far as myself, I just started a new venture going into video editing. I'd never done it before in my life. I never knew that I wanted to. Some unfortunate events happened with my previous videographer. Just things didn't work out and kind of had a falling out or whatever. So I decided that I needed to put out content, and I was like, well, I don't really want to outsource anymore, so why not just do it myself like I've done everything else? So yeah, I just edited my first music video, released that one 2 weeks ago, and then even did my first commission one, just finished that one up. I'm actually going to be wrapping that one up tonight and sending it to the artist.
Perfect. Now, that's a good thing to do. If you can do it yourself, it's always advisable to take on those tasks and do them yourself, because then you don't have to rely on anybody else, and you can really craft it to your vision. I give you kudos on that, because I've always been good with an overall vision and helping direct and do a lot of things in those fields. I've never been one that's been great on the technical side. So that's why a lot of people say, I record myself in my studio, I make my own beats. I do not. I have specific exclusive producers that I work with. I work with sound engineers, I work with videographers and directors on that, and we collab together to create the vision. But I've never been one that's been really great on the technical aspect. I always had the vision that I had to work with other people to bring to life, because I just never have been good at that side. So if you can do that, more kudos to you. And I'm sure it's been a learning curve a little bit, but I'm sure as you're learning, you're just going to continue to get better. And as you said, you have more freedom to be able to kind of do what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, like I said, I was the same way, first getting into this. Like, I knew how to write raps, and then that's all I thought that I had to do. And then, find somebody to record me or whatever, pay for studio time, pay for music videos, so on and so forth. But eventually it just gets to a point where, like, I have so many creative ideas and stuff that I want to do, but then collabing with other people on those ideas can, like, also be great. For instance, like, I can produce my own beats, but I prefer to work with other producers to produce my beats for me, just because I'm very nitpicky when it comes to my beats. So especially if I'm making it, then I'm going to be completely critical of it. And it could be a great beat, but I'll scratch the whole thing after spending, 4 or 5 hours on it, just because I end up critiquing it way too much. And then, so kind of the same thing happens with, sound engineers or videographers and stuff like that. It's like you kind of have a vision for something, but then you're bringing another brain in with it. And then, it can kind of just, it's almost like being in a band. You got 5 dudes that you have to, like, everybody has to agree on the same thing, and it's hard for everyone to be on the same page, which is the whole reason that I even stopped being in a band, because I wanted to just kind of do my own thing and kind of be in control and make my own investments and so on and so forth.
Well, I can understand that. I actually, and then ironically enough, we were talking earlier prior to the show starting about some similarities between me and you, but that would be another one there, as I came from a metal band background as well. I did that for quite a bit of years there, and loved being in a band. There's nothing like it. I love that aspect. I love that feel. But whenever things eventually did come to an end, I love to separate out on my own and do a solo career because I didn't have to have 5 minds all at one place at one time. I didn't have to worry about, is everyone as dedicated as me? When are we going to practice? Okay, 2 people can't show up for practice tonight. Can we all play this show? No, I decide when I want to play, when I want to practice, what I want to make. And I guess some people could say, well, that sounds kind of selfish. Well, maybe it is, because I don't want to have to rely on others. I want to be able to do it myself. And I love my solo career. I always miss being in a band, but I love to have that control. But as you said, I guess I still kind of get that band feel whenever I do collaborate with producers and sound engineers and people in the field of those arts, because it allows me to kind of work with them and not get exactly my way, but to get kind of my vision created with a touch of theirs, to bring something ultimately different than you originally pictured, but still almost very much the same.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And like another thing too is like I still don't completely do everything on my own because of the same thing you said. I do like to work with other people for that reason as well. So that's like the good side of it is like, sometimes I'll mix and master an entire project for myself, record, mix and master. But then sometimes like songs that I really feel like has, potential, I'll send it over to the same engineer that I've been going to since 2012. We both started pretty much at the same time as each other. Whenever I started rapping, he was just starting recording, and it was my first time going to actually record at a, quote unquote studio, aka a microphone in his closet. But
we've all been there.
Oh yeah, he's been crushing it. His name's Landis Pierce. He owns LTP Recording Studio, or no, that's his handle. But the Fuzz Shop in Charlotte, he owns that studio, and it's he's come a very, very long way. His whole entire studio setup is super nice. But yeah, sometimes I'll send him the stems. Like I'll go ahead and get everything to where I want to sound it. Like I'll process the vocals and stuff like that. But then I'll give him a reference track, and I'll tell him exactly like, pan this way, this much or whatever, and just kind of give him a little bit of direction, but just have him kind of go in and just nicely polish everything. If I want a polished track, then I'll send it to him. If I want like the aggressive, grittier stuff, then I'll just do that myself.
Okay, it's good to have options. It's good to know what their specialty is and what you can partner with them for to do, and what you might end up needing to do yourself. And that's good that you know that. You brought something up that was kind of interesting to me. You started in 2012. Obviously, you came from a metal band. Something I didn't want to forget to ask before we get too carried away with other topics is, what caused you to, divert from the metal side into the rap side? What was that pivotal moment that you said, I don't want to follow the metal side any longer. I want to start to try to do my hip hop career? Because I went through something very similar, and I'm just kind of curious to hear what caused you to do that.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so I was part of a band back then called Labyrinth, with an E at the end, just to make it stand out or whatever. But I don't know if you're familiar with like the band from back in the day, Kill Whitney Dead, by chance.
I do remember them. I couldn't tell you off by heart what they sound like, but I do remember them in the scene. I do remember seeing their name around. I'm sure I definitely checked them out at one point in time, but it's been quite a few years.
Yeah, they were just they got pretty well known just because they were the first, not first, but they were sampling like cartoon characters saying brutal skits or whatever, and their songs were extremely short and heavy. That's just kind of what they were known for. But the vocalist Matt Tribunal owned a record label called Tribunal Records, that's considered local here, I guess you'd say. It's an independent label, but we had signed a distribution deal with him as Labyrinth, and then everything else was pretty much DIY. We booked a few tours, went on tour with a few good bands. I don't think any of the bands are together at all anymore. Before I joined the band, they were touring with like Rose Funeral and stuff like that.
Rose Funeral's fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I actually have a Rose Funeral tattoo on my left arm.
Okay, yeah, they're definitely dope. For those of you who haven't checked out Rose Funeral out there, if you like really extreme death metal, deathcore, whatever you want to call it, because everybody has subgenres, definitely some brutal shit. Check out Sledgehammer Facelift.
Oh yeah, that's the OG shit right there.
That is, and it's some dope shit.
But yeah, long story short, Tribunal Records, we were signed to them, did a few tours, and of course you got 6, 7 dudes piled in a van with no air conditioning with each other, and some bandmates, including myself, enjoyed partying. I was a 21-year-old kid at the time, so I wanted to drink and have fun and stuff like that. It was first big tour. Same thing with my drummer. And then, but then some of the members didn't, I guess you could consider them straight edge. And so people were conflicting, butting heads and stuff like that. And unfortunately, on the last day of the tour, there was a fight that broke out between my vocalist and the drummer at the time. And that essentially put an end to it. And the last show was in Florida. So it was an extremely awkward ride home from Florida. I just stayed in the back and slept the whole time, and while everybody argued and stuff. So, but yeah, essentially that was like the turning point where I decided that I no longer wanted to pursue being in a band, because that was my one opportunity that I felt like, we potentially could have done something if we would have kept going and not butted heads and stuff like that. And then it ended up not working out, but I didn't fully transition into rap quite yet. This was just when I was kind of in that off and on period, just kind of doing it for fun. I always listened to rap my entire life, so that was super easy transition. And then so fast forward, I ended up joining another band called Regions. They're now Choke Chamber, also from Charlotte. But I joined them, and it was just kind of like, I was just in it for fun, not taking it very serious. We were all really good friends. We all got along. But then I started taking the rap thing a little bit more serious and realized, they're all my great friends. I still talk to all of them to this day, but I wasn't taking that serious, and they wanted to take it serious. So it wasn't fair to them for me to be a part of the band when I didn't care as much as they did. I started caring more about my rap career just because it was something that I could create on my own, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. Like I said, I had thought about whenever my band, I was with for quite several, we were together for probably about 8 or 9 years, and doing a lot of big things. We did a little bit of touring ourselves, and, I loved going on the road with my guys and having good times, but it was hard not to butt heads. And, after all those years, when it finally did come to an end, it was the same thing. I started doing the rap side of things, which I had always listened to hip hop. I've always listened to death metal. And I always loved both. I always rapped to the side, kind of to myself and to friends and at parties and things, but I never really did it on an open spectrum. Then I started to do that, and then I had kind of pondered on the idea of starting another band. But then, like I said earlier, I just started thinking about it, and I'm like, why would I take a step back to try to put so much effort into trying to get all guys on one page when I can just make that page myself? And really, that's, I think, for the same thing for you. You just decide at some point, is it worth it? No, let's just make our own fate instead of depending upon other people to help make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, definitely very interesting, and I'm glad that we found a common bond there with not only the music, but in, individual bands like Rose Funeral, because like I said, it's not a lot of people I know that actually listen to Rose Funeral, so that's awesome.
Yeah, not so many people actually remember them, so I was actually surprised that, hear somebody else, especially bringing up Sledgehammer Facelift, like that just brought me back to the days.
Absolutely. I surprised a lot of my guests, especially on the metal side. I had a metal group, Dematis, on a few weeks back. Shout out to them. They were very fun to interview, and they reminded me, they're very similar in sounds in certain parts to Arch Enemy. They have a female vocalist, so they're a 3-piece. She plays guitar and screams and sings, and then they have a bass player and drummer, and then they have a lot of melodicness to them and other elements mixed in. And we started talking about bands, and I started throwing names out at them, and a lot of people get surprised because obviously I'm a rapper, I'm in hip-hop. I have a label that is metal and hip-hop, but a lot of people don't expect me to know as much as I do about metal, and I'm thinking I know more about metal than I do about rap. So I usually throw a lot of names out there, and people are like, oh my, I can't believe you know that. I'm like, oh, absolutely. I listen to that shit all the time. So Rose Funeral is definitely one I remember in early high school days. Not even early high school days. I think it's later high school days that I was listening to. I'm not sure when you graduated or not, but I graduated in 2006. And I was definitely jamming some Rose Funeral at that point.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I was, well, when I should have graduated, it was 2010, but I dropped out like super early on. But yeah,
It's all right.
shit.
Hey, we all got to make our own paths, and I mean, honestly, whether you have that paper or not, I don't know if it does a whole lot for you. So it
Oh
just
yeah, well,
depends.
I mean, like the agreement with my mom at the time, because I dropped out when I was 15, technically wasn't supposed to, but I just stopped going, and then when I turned 16, I got my GED. So, and I
It's the
did
equivalent, so it means the same exact thing.
exactly like, and it was cool that I got to do that when I was 16, and then I just took a break from school in general for 2 years, and then tried college when I was 18, and dropped out of that too because college sucks.
Yeah, well, college is kind of a scam anyway, and we've talked about this in some past shows, but I mean, honestly, anymore, the crisis of education and obviously healthcare and things in the United States are a sham, and education, as we were talking about, is definitely one of them big ones. And you go to school, you put in all the effort, all the time, all the loans and money you put into it. You can't end up getting a job in your own field. You pay the rest of your entire life on an education that you got that pretty much didn't get you anywhere. So for honestly, not continuing on with college is not a bad thing for you because it doesn't really get you too far. Trust me. It doesn't do a whole lot. My wife has 2 master's degrees, and that's great. And we're happy that she has that. But when we look back on it, where she's gotten with her career, which is, she's gone very far, she's done actually without those degrees. So it's kind of pointless at the end of the day. So it kind of led, and I don't usually bring up people's, careers in life other than the music itself, but it kind of, doesn't matter in your field anyway because you are a tattoo artist, if I'm thinking correctly, and that is a great field because there's a good bit of money in that field, and you kind of control your own employment, your own destiny there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What led you into becoming a tattoo artist?
Oh yeah. All right. So, do you want like the early influence or just like
No, that's fine. Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about what led you into it and where it brought you to now.
dope? Okay, so when I was really young, I want to say 8, 9 years old, Linkin Park had Hybrid Theory. Obviously, I was obsessed with Chester, and I saw he had the flame tattoos on his wrist, and I saw that and just thought it was so badass when I was a kid, basically. And I said to myself that that's what I want when I get older. So I was really, I never knew that I wanted to be a tattoo artist, but I started drawing when I was really young too. Started drawing like Dragon Ball Z characters, stuff like that. Drew a lot when I was younger, and then even through my teens and stuff like that, I always knew that I wanted to be heavily tattooed, especially getting into the death metal scene, deathcore scene, stuff like that. Seeing all the frontmen having sleeves and their hands tattooed and throat pieces and stuff, I was like, that just looks super cool. And so I knew that I wanted to get tattooed, but I never really thought to put 2 and 2 together. Even when I was like 15, I started drawing up my own tattoo designs. So, but even then I was oblivious. I was like, I have no fucking clue how to, become a tattoo artist. Like, but I know I want them. And so fast forward to when I turned 18, finally I was at the legal age to get tattooed in North Carolina. And I started off right off the gate, getting my full sleeve outlined. And from that point on, it was just like game over. And funny story, my friend who still tattoos as well, we worked together for about 7 years. His name's Austin Britt. He just moved to Asheville. He tattoos at Heron Mark now. But this was back when we were 19, I want to say. We were 19 years old, and he decided that he wanted to get into tattooing. And so he bought like an eBay tattoo kit online and started tattooing fake skin and whatever. So basically I was like, okay, like free tattoos, fuck it. And I just let him do his first ever tattoo that he ever did was on all 10 of my toes. And that was the worst feeling ever, on a side note. So I don't recommend. Okay. Yeah, I don't recommend getting your toes tattooed, especially by somebody who's doing their very first tattoo. But yeah, so I saw him doing it and he was getting into it, and I had him bring his stuff over to my house and was like, I want to give it a shot just for shits and giggles. And I did it, and I had my first tattoo I ever did on skin on myself. And it looks like shit. It's not the worst thing in the world, but definitely not good by any means either. But yeah, so after that, I just kind of bought my own tattoo kit, started tattooing myself mostly, and then my friends found out that I was tattooing myself, and I started tattooing them out of my bedroom. Just I never charged anybody. I just just kind of did it or whatever. If they wanted to like smoke a blunt with me or something, that was cool too. But yeah, and so I started showing my artwork and the tattoos that I was doing on people to my tattoo artist, and I guess he saw potential in what I was doing and offered me an apprenticeship. And yeah, that was the beginning of all of it. That was December 2011.
Okay, so I was just about to ask how long you've been officially tattooing for. So you have some nice time under your belt at this point. So you're talking pretty much 8 years at this point.
Yeah, technically it is 8 years because it was around this time, summertime in 2011, that I started tattooing in the bedroom. I don't really like to count that period because, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but until I started my apprenticeship. But yeah, I mean, altogether, technically 8 years, but December will be, since I've been professionally tattooing.
Okay, perfect. No, that's awesome. And any plans of ever doing anything else career-wise, or do you think this is what you will continue to do, for most of your life?
Yeah, I mean, whether it be pursuing tattooing and growing in that, or music, taking over tattooing eventually, like, say I start making more of a living off of my music and I get to a point where I don't need tattooing anymore or something like that, I still plan to invest in buying my own tattoo shop, opening my own tattoo shop, whatever. And so that way I'm still always part of the industry and I have like, something to hand over to my children one day or something like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a bad thing or a bad plan, and you can always kind of do both. Even if your music does take off, it's who's to say that you can't, continue to do tattoos from time to time if you want to and stay fresh on and stay on point. So definitely pretty cool. You had mentioned kind of a complete side note here. I did want to actually, before I even go into that, I did want to mention a couple people that are leaving comments right now. Chris Nolan did say, "What's up, fam?" And he showed you a lot of love earlier on one of my posts. He's been a follower of my music and someone actually from here in Pittsburgh. And whenever I had posted up earlier that I was having you on the show, I know that he not only liked it, but he had dropped several comments of your videos for anybody else who didn't know your music yet, and told me to definitely let him know when the show was on tonight, which I did, and he is on here listening. So shout out to Chris. And then gentleman by the name of Jacob Bamford is giving us some devil horns. I think that's when we were talking about Rose's funeral. He was giving us some metal hands. And
yeah, that's my buddy Jacob. Yeah, his brother is Ben Bamford and plays bass for the band Spite.
That's funny. I was just listening to Spite a couple days ago.
Yeah, Spite's like my favorite band right now.
Well, what's funny? I didn't actually know about them, but a friend of mine the other day, it might have even been earlier this week, so we're talking just freshly within the last 7 days. A friend of mine had told me you need to check them out, and I'd never heard of them, and I put them on, and I was listening to them on my way to work, and definitely pretty dope. I enjoyed the album a lot. I don't remember what the name of the album is because I'm always horrible with album names, but it was earlier this week, and we were talking before the show that me and you both drive pretty far to working and home from work, so it gave me about an hour roughly to listen to these guys, and I was very impressed, and they're now on my radar to listen to on a more frequent basis. That's pretty dope. It's pretty awesome that his brother's in. Now, what's he playing in the band, you said?
Yeah, Ben plays bass. He used to play guitar for a band called Body Snatcher.
Okay.
And Body Snatcher's also doing really well for themselves too. Those are all good friends of mine as well. When the band I mentioned, Regions, the most current band that I was in before I quit, the first tour that we did was with Body Snatcher, and that's how I met Ben, and in turn also met Jacob. So shout out to my boys Jacob and Ben.
Absolutely. It's always good to see people doing their thing, whether it be in the rap world or the metal world. And as I mentioned my band earlier, and you might know him, you might not, but my singer from my band actually left our band towards the end there whenever we split, and he's now the front man for Rings of Saturn, if you've ever listened to those guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's a little monster. I'm definitely happy to see everything he's doing right now. Just kind of crazy when you think about it. We were just some kids from a small town fucking around, making a band, doing some pretty cool things, and now I watch him and he's touring Paris and Europe and shit, and I'm like, all right, well, oh yeah, bro.
Oh,
So
yeah,
just
yeah.
never know what the world of music can do for you. And shout out to Ian from Rings of Saturn and all the guys in Rings of Saturn, and obviously all the bands you mentioned as well, Spite and Body Snatchers and everybody else. So that's definitely awesome. Another thing I wanted to ask you, I didn't get to earlier, is what did you play in the bands? Were you a guitar player? Were you frontman? What were you doing when you were playing music?
I was bouncing back and forth between bass and guitar. I
Okay.
don't consider myself a guitar player. Like, I can play guitar, but I'm not like a shredder, or like, I always fell more in line with rhythm.
Okay.
So that's why I gravitated more towards bass. I can consider myself more of a bass player than anything, but I can play guitar if we needed one.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being rhythm. Rhythm is very important. I mean, there's a lot of people, everybody wants to be a lead guitar player and everybody wants to be the shredder, but no one realizes that it doesn't matter how good you can shred if you don't have someone to lay down the rhythm for you to shred over. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of the basis of everything that you need there. And I was a guitar player myself and wouldn't exactly call myself a shredder, but I was definitely I was a pretty good guitar player at one point in time. These days, I have a lot of people yell at me because I don't play much anymore. I haven't picked up my guitar, even though there's two of them sitting behind me right now. I haven't picked them up in quite some time. They're sitting in my display cases, and they're, I love them. I would love to play it again, but I feel like I can't give them the time that they deserve, so why even bother?
Yeah.
But once upon a time, I could shred in my own regard, but not like massive sweep picking or shredding in that regard. I just was a very good heavy metal, death metal style guitar player. So, but that's crazy that we have that same type of background. I always like in talking to people who did transition from metal into rap because we do have so much in common, and it's always cool to hear people's stories of how they got there. And I always pick things out of what we talk about and kind of bring up. And you mentioned earlier, a complete side note again, and I love doing that to people, is you mentioned that you kind of started out with the tattooing. You started drawing Dragon Ball Z characters. Who was your favorite character?
I really liked Vegeta, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I know he's like one of the most hated or whatever, but like, I don't know, I was kind of always like the fan of the villains, almost. Like, not that I really considered him a villain, but I just thought he just like looked really badass because he didn't have to be like super buff or anything like that. He just kind of like kept his cool, had his like deep monotone voice and stuff. I'd have to say Vegeta.
He kind of had both sides to him. I mean, he was good, but he was also bad. He was kind of a tormented person between both sides.
Yeah, definitely.
I liked Trunks a lot, and then as far as bad guys go, I liked Boo a lot. He reminded me of like an evil Kirby. I always, for some reason, just pictured Kirby, and then there were obviously Frieza and some of the other ones out there. I used to watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z when I was younger.
Yeah,
Now,
I liked Frieza as well. I like drawing Frieza at least.
that'd be an interesting one to draw because of the different look of the character and the suit and like how that's portrayed. So that'd be interesting to see for sure.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you have any upcoming gigs that people should know about?
Yeah, actually, August 30th in Cornelius, at Studio 13. I'm co-hosting it with my friend Bobby D. Runs Cult Classic. He did my first ever interview, the one that you had mentioned earlier.
Yes.
We're actually working together, co-hosting it together. So it's like a Grim/Cult Classic showcase with Baby Goyard. I believe he's headlining. And then I got my boy Nodis flying in to share the set with me. That was going to be a surprise. So anybody that's listening now, that's going to the show, now you know that Nodis will be pulling up to the show. And my boy Fonzo and a bunch of other great local artists. Too many to name off all at once. But yeah, that's August 30th.
You heard it, folks. If you are in the area on August 30th, I expect you to be at that show. Support this man, support his friends and homies, and show them some love. If they have merch, buy their merch, buy their music, and to support underground music, as I always tell you every show. Support the band, support the artists, because you are the backbone of what allows us to keep doing what we're doing, allows us to keep writing music and keep pushing. Because I got to be honest with you, as a musician and an artist, there's a lot of hard times. I mean, I pride myself in always keeping a clear head and staying very positive, but even the most positive person has moments of doubt and moments of darkness where they're like, why the fuck am I doing this? Do I want to continue to do this? And when you have your fans out there showing love, messaging the artists that they like, buying their merch, coming out to shows and supporting, that is sometimes the push that we need to continue doing what we do. And you might not realize how important you guys are, but you are very important to keeping us mentally sane, because I'm going to be honest with you, most of us artists are fucked up in the head. If you didn't know that, most people of any art, whether it's painting, whether it's rap, whether it's metal, doesn't matter. Most of the people that are into the arts and are very artistic, especially the ones that are very good and very genius, are usually the most troubled. So support those people, show them love, and let them know that they made an impact in your life.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's I had a really good conversation with a friend of mine not too long ago about the same subject, but yeah, like it's a bittersweet situation too, because you can get all the compliments in the world, but yet you still have that voice in the back of your head that's like telling you like you're not shit, blah 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 or whatever, and it's like you can't cut that voice off. So it still helps to hear the compliments and see the compliments and stuff like that. But then it's like you get all these compliments and it does help a little bit, but then you get just that one negative comment, that one thing, and that's what you end up like, at least for me, that's what I'm teaching myself to avoid it or whatever. But you get that one negative comment on the internet that's just like talking shit, and you're just like, why are you going out of your way to talk shit? Like, and then it makes you like waste your energy, thinking about it or talking shit about it, but it ends up like eating you up a little bit. And so for me, I try to now I just avoid it all and try to take in the good more than the one bad comment, or the handful of bad comments, and just let the good outweigh the bad. But that's just like you said, just dealing with the anxiety and depression and stuff that I've had and still currently going through, for the most part, it's hard for me to decipher that stuff in my head, and I'm just like, I don't know when to pick and choose my battles type stuff. So it's hard for me to just move past that one negative comment.
And hopefully you can overcome that eventually. I used to be there. I used to look at the one negative comment and get pissed off, get upset by it, argue with the person, and be like, "Fuck you! Who are you to tell me? Why are you going to go out of your way to talk shit? Just don't listen to my music." And then there was a pivotal changing point a while back, and it was a lot with self-exploration. I read a lot, I study a lot, and I'm very spiritual, and not necessarily religious, but very spiritual. And I kind of found an inner peace in myself that I decided a lot of these type of things don't matter, and why let them bother me, because they're not important. So, a lot of times now, if I get a negative comment, I just kind of laugh it off, or I kind of kill them with kindness. They'll be like, "You fucking suck." And I'll message back, "Thank you so much for your input. I really appreciate it." And then they'll be like, "Go fuck yourself." And I'm like, "Thank you once again. And if you do it, it drives them crazy, because then they start pissing off, because all they want to do is get you riled up. They want to see you get angry. But if you don't let it and you fuck with them back, it's the ultimate thing. Or a lot of times now, I don't even pay it any mind and I move past it. But I still wonder from time to time. I look at it and I'm like, what an asshole. Like, why the fuck does dude even have to talk shit? For instance, this morning, I shouldn't even talk about this, but this morning, I have a post up that I'm ordering new charms for my fans out there and for my label, and they're actually strong, sturdy charms. I've had mine for 2 years. 2 years. I wear it often, and we had smaller ones for the regular fan base out there and for some of the team on my label, and then me and one of my generals of the label have a larger size one, and I've been rocking it for a while. It's never bent, never had a problem. It's sturdy. Well, this asshole has to come on and say, "Them look flimsy as fuck, man. Them are pretty much garbage," is what he had told me. And I messaged him back, and I'm like, "Actually, they're strong as fuck, bro." I said, "I've never had a single issue, but thanks for jumping to conclusions." And then he came back, jumping to conclusions, nothing. I know flimsy when I see it. I've been making charms for years. Now, there was that moment where I wanted to be like, "Suck a dick." But I stepped back, and I'm thinking, I just don't understand human nature, because are you just trying to talk shit, or are you trying to come in and tell me that you could do it better? Because that's not how a professional would handle it. You would message me and say, or leave a comment and say, hey, I see you're trying to get some charms made. I don't know if those look like the sturdiest ones out there. I make charms myself. If you would ever want to look at my stuff, I'd be happy to give you a price, show you what I do. So if
So
you're
yeah,
trying to
like
get me,
constructive criticism, basically, right?
yeah, exactly. You're telling me
Totally.
you don't think that they're that good, but maybe you can offer me better, and then maybe you're going to get your foot in the door for me to order through you, and maybe I would look at what you're saying. But when you just come in out of nowhere and I've never talked to you or heard of you, and you all of a sudden jump on my comment and you're like, them look flimsy as fuck and look like garbage pretty much. Now you lost any hope of me ever working with you. You make me think you're a complete fucking douchebag. And when I check you out and I realize that you're a no one, like to this dude, I've heard their name around and they're doing a couple things in the scene. But like, bro, you are nothing. So like, who are you to come on my fucking post and talk shit? Like, you just completely ruined any chance of networking, any chance of me ever helping you, any chance of me ever getting you on my show or anything that could help you out. You ruined all that by being a douche. So I sometimes still look at those situations and I'm like, what an asshole. But I don't really let it faze me because I look at it like sports. Not everyone's going to like your team. People a lot of times support a specific team or support their hometown team, and they don't give a fuck if you're the greatest player in the world. If you're on the other team, you are the enemy. I look at that like music. If you're not what their cup of tea is, they're going to talk shit. They're not going to like you. They're going to badmouth you. Maybe they haven't even checked you out and they just want to talk shit because it's the cool thing to do. Or maybe they talk shit because you're not their cup of tea. But hey, that's okay. I certainly don't make music for everyone. I make it for a niche, certain select group of underground cult style music. And that's okay with me. So whenever people are like, you fucking suck, quit making music, I just laugh. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, I'm going to continue to make music, and I'm going to fucking post it on your wall now. So instead of quitting making music, I'm going to make more music, and I'm going to send it to you on fucking Christmas. How about that? That's my type of mentality.
For me, like, this was more like, you know, past, like, when I was first coming out, like, especially when we were doing the Graveyard Boys thing, we obviously got a lot of comparison to Suicide Boys because of the name and because our choice of beats, like, and stuff like that. We got a lot of comparisons to Suicide Boys, people calling us, you know, wannabe Suicide Boys and stuff like that. And before, like, you know, it would kind of just like get under my skin a little bit, but obviously I just grew thicker skin over time, especially becoming a solo artist. Like you said, I just like brush it off now. Most of the time I ignore it, but like I'm also the type of person that like I used to do a whole lot of trolling on the internet and still like to, you know, have fun with that sometimes. So basically, like, I kind of realized that these kids that are talking shit, the best way that I've handled them is ignoring them. But sometimes I like to have a little bit of fun with them and just start either like roasting them or just like trolling them in general and just saying like outlandish off the wall shit that just gets them kind of like stirred up, because then it kind of creates a domino effect to where they're like, whether they actually do hate you or not, you're sitting there engaging with them, and then tomorrow I'm going to completely forget who the fuck this person is, but this person is going to remember my name forever, and anytime my name ever gets brought up or anything like that, he's going to start talking shit again, in turn spreading my name around, if that makes sense. So
no, it absolutely does. I had two dudes trying to troll me a little while back, but at the same time I was trolling them back, and it turned into like this crazy fucking post because I put up a thing about the Face app that people were putting out there where everybody, and it's funny because if you look now, it's vanished. You don't even fucking hear about this shit now. But for like a week, that thing was God, and everyone in the world was making themselves older and younger because people are sheep. And I'm not even going to get too deep into that because it gets into the conspiracy and how we're brainwashed, but that's for my other show. But it truly is,
you got to invite me onto that show because I could talk for hours about that stuff.
That show's extreme. It's from everything from ghosts to encounters to sightings to conspiracy theory to shadow government. I mean, it's
is it the paranormal?
Yeah, Celestial Oddities, Paranormal Guy, Celestial Oddities show. Yeah, and I'm actually airing next Wednesday, our episode we do each month and it's a brand new show, so I should say we do each month. We're going to be doing each month, where people call in and give their encounters, and then the other episode's the following week on the 28th, and that's me and my co-host Daniel James, where we pick specific topics. This upcoming one for me and him is sleep paralysis, night terrors, and other nighttime demons and spirits that people have seen numerous times and times again, like the man in the top hat, which is a famous one that's been seen for decades.
Oh man, I have a whole album that's based off of my experiences from sleep paralysis and stuff like that.
Okay, well then we'll definitely have to be getting you on the show sometime. That's awesome. Actually, last night we had a good buddy of mine, Sleep Lyrical, on the show. Great underground rapper, one of my absolute favorites actually. And he was on the show telling about his experiences with sleep paralysis and sightings while he was experiencing sleep paralysis. So for anybody listening out there, if you are interested, whether you are actually interested in those topics or you're a fan of Sleep Lyrical and want to hear a little bit about things he's experienced behind the scenes as an actual person, check out on the 21st on my other show, Celestial Oddities Paranormal Guys podcast. You can listen to that on all the platforms that this show is on as well. And stay tuned for a lot of awesome episodes coming up. We got a lot of fun things in store. But there was a point that I was going to say to that. What the hell were we talking about?
We were talking about well, we brought up the paranormal thing right before that. We were talking about trolling.
I completely forgot. There was a reason for the well, fuck it. We'll come back to it if I catch it. There was a reason why I brought up the whole paranormal thing. You said something that triggered me to say something about paranormal.
Shoot. As soon as you said that.
It's come and gone, guys. It happens. If you're listening out there, I'm retarded. It's okay. That'll happen. When you're talking a lot and you interview a lot of people.
Conspiracies.
Oh, and we were talking about conspiracies, and we brought up conspiracies because of the FaceTime app. So I had guys trolling me because I put up that it was a hoax for people to think it was the next cool thing to make yourself old and young, and really all they were doing is taking analytics of your face and storing it in a database. And I said it's fucking stupid how they can make trends overnight. They can tell you it's the next big thing even though no one ever heard of it, and within hours millions of people download it and do it, and you think that you're following the trend that all these people have done that no one's even done yet, and then people start seeing everyone do it and they follow that trend. So I put that up, and two guys started talking mad shit on me. You're a fucking moron. They already have your analytics. They already have this and that. I'm like, I understand that, but you're not necessarily giving permission. I said, at this app, you are granting them to use that for anything that they see fit for the rest of your entire life. And it's not even an American application. It's ran by a company in Russia. So now you're giving a Russian entity of some sort use of your face and facial structure and analytics to use for whatever they like. And some people say, I don't give a shit, they can use it for what they want because you're such a fucking hard ass that you don't care. But I don't care what anybody says. I'm not openly giving permission for people to use my face for anything because that could be a lot more irreputable things than you realize. But this guy was trolling me, so was this other one, and to fuck with him back, he was a juggalo, which there's nothing wrong with juggalos. I have a lot of juggalo fans, but I'm busting his balls. And I was like, yeah, I said, I talk some type of shit on him for being a juggalo. I was like, yeah, all you fucking juggalo kids, this and that. And I was trolling him, and he got all butthurt, and he was like, how the fuck would your fans feel if I took screenshots of this? Too late, I already did. I'm gonna post this to the world and let them see you talking shit on juggalos. Watch your fan base, disappear overnight. I says, please, fucking post it. I said, do it. I was like, I don't care. I'll fucking tell the juggalos to their faces that they're goofy. And anybody out there listening that's a juggalo kid, I love you, but you're all a bunch of fucking weirdos. I'm a weirdo too, so I'm not saying I'm better than you are, but you're a bunch of fucking misfit weirdos. If you have a problem with that, then you're probably not a real juggalo. So when I was trolling them back, so it just goes back with the subject you're talking about, trolling people. So a lot of times when people talk shit, I fuck with them hard, or I just don't fuck with them at all. So I go from one extreme to the next with either busting their balls, or I just don't even respond and let them continue to talk shit because I have better things to do. So kind of funny, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. I want to jump into one of your first two songs so we have time to play them tonight. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Ebola and give us a interlude into that, and we'll jump into the song and let everybody hear it.
Ebola, I dropped it, I want to say late last year, and then dropped a music video for it early this year. It's produced by, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm brain farting. I'll think about it later.
You think about it, you can drop it later in the show. Trust me, I've worked with so many producers and artists over the years that I'm like, yeah, I wrote that song with, oh shit. That'll happen, so there's no worries.
Yeah. Well, he's a great producer that I came across, heard the beat, fell in love with it, and sat on it for, I purchased a lease on it and sat on it for a few months because I knew I wanted to write a really good verse for it. And there's no real, plot to this lyrics or anything. I named it Ebola because I used that word in the hook. and it was essentially, I guess, just kind of like, hey, this song's pretty dope, so spread it like a virus, and Ebola just happened to rhyme.
No, absolutely. I think it works out pretty good.
And
let's go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, perfect. Let's go ahead and jump into it. If you're listening out there, this is Ebola from Torchfvce, and we'll be right back on Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast Show.
I say nice to know ya. Smoking was magnolia. I cannot control ya. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. I say nice to know ya. Smoking was magnolia. I cannot control ya. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. I say nice to know ya. 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 Smoking was magnolia. I cannot control ya. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. Running this shit, we ain't playing no games. Talking my shit, ain't no fucking with lames. Fuck on your couch like my name was Rick James. I'm the sinister minister, remember my name. Stick my dick in your bitch and I'm grabbing her throat. Squeezing the grip while I'm watching her choke. Finger fucking filling every hole. Then I nut and I blasting me neutron that hoe. Looking around, I see no competition. We rolling up woods and get back to the business. We never slow in, we don't do intermissions. We spreading the virus, get down with the sickness. You can't write a verse when you're versing myself. I'm under the radar, I'm coming in still. Stop taking pills, that shit's bad for your health. I'm changing the game like it's calling for help. Wait, none of these pussies fucking safe. Better come at me correct or I'll rearrange your face. Murder, 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 murder. I'm at my full potential, don't you make me take this further. Get no fucks if you don't close. Masked up with a motherfucking fofo. Slow rolling, I'm pulling up solo. Got your bitch in a motherfucking chokehold. Hey, running and gunning, talk shit and I'm busting. Give you a concussion, not up for discussion. No drugs in my system, there's no competition. My mission is giving incisions like wishes. I say nice to know ya. Smoking was magnolia. I cannot control ya. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. I say nice to know ya. Smoking was magnolia. I cannot control ya. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola.
And we are back on Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast Show, and you just heard Ebola from Torchfvce, who is our guest tonight on the show. We've been interviewing him for the last hour, picking his brain, finding out who he is as a person and an artist, and now we got to let you guys sample a little bit of his music, and we'll sample a little bit more here in probably about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll play another one of his tracks. He was trying to think of the producer on that specific song before we went to that break, and he has since thought of that. Who was the producer on that track, homie?
His name is Salsa, so shout out to my boy Salsa.
Okay, absolutely. Check out his music if you're out there listening, and if you're an artist, check him out for his beats and try to work with him. We always promote working with one another on the show. And let me take a look and see if we got a couple more comments. I thought I seen the comments section go off, but it doesn't look like there's a new one there. Sometimes my computer likes to make me think things are happening that are not. This is the section where we are going to jump into some silly questions, and then I will bring it back towards the end into a couple more serious ones. Finish it out with another song from Torchfvce, and then asking him his shout-outs and where you can find his music at. So if you're listening out there, this is our fun and silly section. I ask every single guest out there that's on the show. This is not necessarily a silly question. It can be, depending upon the answer. But what is the one thing in life that you've done that you don't regret doing, but you would certainly never do it again? And it can be personally, or it can be with music. It doesn't have to just be like a personal thing to you. It can be something in music that you've done, but it can also be a personal thing. It can go either way.
Okay, so is this podcast like pretty unfiltered?
It's completely unfiltered.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'll keep this as quick as possible. essentially, like I say outlandish shit, just random shit all the time. That's kind of just like my sense of humor. Anybody that knows me personally knows that that's just kind of like how I roll. Well, I was in a situation where I was like hanging out with this girl a very long time ago, and I just made a joke about peeing on her, and just blatantly random whatever, and she was like, "I'm down, whatever." And I was like, what? Okay. I didn't take it serious at all. And so basically, long story short, eventually I had to go and use the bathroom. We were drinking and stuff. And she was like, well, are we going to do this? I was like, you're for real right now? You want me to do this? And I was like, all right, fuck it. The only reason I did it was for situations like this where I could just like tell the story. And ended up just pissing on this chick.
Ladies, if you've never had the golden shower, try it out. You just might like it. No, that's awesome. I get different answers every single show, obviously, different stories from all different spectrums that you can imagine, and that is a first on the show so far, but certainly not something that phases me. I'm sure our listeners are having a gas right now listening to that and laughing. But like I said, if you haven't tried the golden shower, you just might like it, folks. Try it out. You never know. Life is short. Experiment. Have fun. I don't judge anyone. So another question that I ask everyone is, if the animal kingdom were to rise up and take over one specific species of animal, we should say, who would be the ultimate ruler of them all and why? So you can pick one animal group, and why would they be the ruler of all the animal kingdom?
Let's see. That's a hard one.
It is.
That's a really hard one. Well, because like obviously the first thing I want to say is like gorillas, because of like Planet of the Apes and stuff, just because that's already been like programmed into my head. But that's too easy. I don't want to say gorillas or apes or anything like that. I don't know. I'd like to see a world where like fish take over, like just all types of sea life. Because how crazy would it be to see like that show from the 90s, the sharks and stuff? They like buff ass sharks like with a 6-pack and shit.
Ah, shit.
Like
what the hell was that called? I know exactly what you're talking about. If you're out there, folks listening, leave us a comment of where there were. It was cartoons, right?
Yeah. And
yeah,
I think
the cartoon
they're coming out
sharks.
to live action soon.
Okay. Well, if you know what we're
something like
talking
that.
about out there, drop us a comment and tell us, because we cannot think of it.
Yeah, just like picture like a bunch of sharks just like coming up out of the ocean with a fucking 6-pack and was just like, I'm here to take over. I'm taking over your planet. What are you going to do about it?
Well, one of the things to think of too is ocean life is something certainly that could be a contender, because the world is slowly melting more and more of the polar ice caps. The ocean levels and water levels are rising. The sea levels are rising, and more land is going underwater. It might not be in the next 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, but eventually, most of what we see will eventually someday be underwater. And as that happens, what is going to survive? The things that are already living within the water. Apes, snakes, reptiles, all of those things are going to drown because they can only swim for so long. But those fish, sharks, all of those things, it's not going to faze them one bit. Now, the only way that would be combated was, as there's a lot of pollution in the world, it could pollute the water, and then if the waters are polluted, everything dies. So, there's obviously some things you could say back to that, but I think that ocean life is definitely an interesting one. And we always get a lot of different answers on that. We had someone, I think, on one of the last episodes said bugs, just bugs of any type, ants. Demo Demon, who's on my label, great underground artist. A lot of times he's listening in. I don't think tonight he is. I haven't heard from him yet. He usually is leaving comments. Every time I ask this question to every artist, he always makes sure he throws in his honey badger, because honey badgers aren't afraid of anything.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll fucking fight a lion. They'll fight a poisonous snake. They don't give a shit. So it's always funny to hear. Someone actually said a octopus one time, I believe. So there was another ocean life at one point in time, but he specifically
like
said
someone like
octopuses.
Cthulhu or some shit.
Yeah, some crazy shit like that. So I mean, it's always fun to hear different answers. And then the other question that I ask usually out of there's always at least three of them. Sometimes I throw some extras in there, but those two and then this one I always make sure I ask every guest because they're just kind of funny and some side notes break up the monotony of the normal interview. Is if you had to choose which you'd rather fight, would you rather battle and fight a horse-sized beaver or 100 beaver-sized horses? And what would your plan? And what would your plan of attack be?
Uh, Shit.
And once
I
again,
wanted,
just so you capture it, it's either a horse-sized beaver or 100 beaver-sized horses.
yeah, I saw the same question floating around on Facebook the other
You know
day
what?
too.
That's actually a fucking, and that was ducks. So I've been
Yeah,
asking
ducks.
this.
Yeah, you're right. It was ducks.
And here's the thing, and it takes me to one of those moments where I started having like I'm stepping back and I'm like I didn't make this up. I've been asking this question not only on this show for the entire year so far. I was on another radio show prior to this. I ran with another company that wasn't my own before they end up closing shop, and I opened up this one. And I was asking that question even back then. And I don't know if I read it somewhere. I thought I had just randomly came up with a question, but it was out of nowhere like a week ago, or a couple weeks ago, I guess at this point, that I seen this fucking meme or this post, and it was like, would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? And I'm like, you motherfucker. And I'm like, where did that come from? And I'd never seen that before. So mine was always the beaver thing. So I don't know if I had somehow subliminally got that from somewhere and thought I made it up, or who knows what happened from there. But mine is I'm sticking with the goddamn beaver. So it's either horse-sized
Yeah, fuck
beaver, 100
ducks.
beaver-sized horses. Fuck them ducks. I ain't scared of no duck.
Yeah, I think I would go with the beaver-sized horses because I don't want to fight a beaver that's the size of a horse because they have that, like they're pretty fucking tough. They can build dams and shit like that. So imagine how strong a fucking horse-sized one would be. So 100
100 beaver-sized
I was about
horses.
to, yeah, beaver-sized horses. I feel like would be a little bit easier just because 100 horsepower anything like a normal horsepower is not very strong. Think about like a lawnmower or some shit like that. When I hear 100 or like a Honda Civic, it's not that strong. But so beaver-sized horses, 100 of them. I have pretty strong legs. Like I got some thick thighs, so I feel like I could just kick the fuck out of them and just like ultimately win that battle. Just full on fucking soccer punt the shit out of them.
I like that because everybody gives different answers on it. I have heard some people say about kicking them little fuckers before, but you got to think, you wouldn't want to really fight a horse-sized beaver because not only can it whip that flat-ass tail around with massive force and mess your day up, but it also got them big-ass teeth then. And you really don't want to be messing with that. Now, I like everybody's different answer, and I got a really unique one last week. We interviewed pop rock singer Bianca Jasmine. So shout out to her. She's doing a killer job in the pop rock scene. And that's what's great about this show is I bring everything from the grimiest and grittiest motherfuckers out there to mainstream. I wouldn't say mainstream because she's still kind of underground. She's not that known, but they're touring, they're doing their thing in the pop scene. And she had a very unique answer, and I liked it. She picked the same thing. She picked the 100, beaver-sized horses. But instead of fighting it, she says, I would try to reason with it. I would climb upon its back and I would whisper to it and I would find a strategy to connect with it and tell it that there's no reason for harm, there's no reason for violence. And then me and the 100 horse-sized or beaver-sized horses would ride off into the sunset together. And I was like, well, that is a first for me. That's the first time anybody's ever said that. So it's always fun to see those.
Fuck.
Yeah, she completely surprised me with that one.
That's a pretty good liberal approach to it, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. She's reasoning with those little bastards and she's riding off into the sunset. Now, I got the answer that we were looking for. Chris Nolan and Jacob both left us a message or a comment saying Street Sharks was the name of that show.
Yes, that is it.
And Chris Nolan said, I had action figures from them back in the day. I actually did as well, and including... they made little rubber hand puppets. It was just like the rubber head of the shark, and you could slip your hand up into. Too. Yeah, and you could just I don't know, it was like a big thing. They used to make that with a lot of stuff back then. All those things are gone, or maybe they're not. Maybe they still have them for kids, and I just don't see them anymore. But I
Yeah,
do
like I
remember
said, I
having
think
this.
I want to say that they're coming out with the live action because I don't know if it was just a meme or whatever that I saw floating around on the internet, but I saw like a live action remake of it on a picture, and I was like, holy fuck, are they bringing this back? Because that would be excellent if they did.
It would be pretty cool. I would definitely check that out. I'm always into checking out new ideas and live action remakes of things. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm disappointed. That's even like remakes itself. I mean, especially in the horror genre, which I'm definitely into horror. You know, they oftentimes don't do justice to the remake, but every now and again when they hit it, they usually do a good job when they actually hit it. Case in point, and I know a lot of people would argue with me, a lot of people would agree with me. The remake of Rob Zombie when he did Halloween and remade Halloween, I thought he fucking nailed it.
Oh
There's
yeah,
other
I'm a
there's other
huge
people.
Rob Zombie fan. Huge
Me
Rob Zombie.
too. John Carpenter is not such a big fan as he talked mad shit on Rob Zombie after remaking his movie. And said he fucking butchered it and ruined it. But I'm thinking, bro, you were the one that ruined it. Now I give you credit, John. You made Halloween and you did a killer job with it. It's one of my favorites of all time. But you never gave us any fucking backstory, bro. How do you
Yeah,
make a
no
movie
backstory.
that he's a kid, he kills his sister, he's in an insane asylum for 20 fucking years, you don't know anything about it, he escapes, he's a killer. Ooh. There's nothing
Oh,
else to
dude.
it.
Speaking of the backstory and the Rob Zombie Halloween, the dude that played young Michael in the movie,
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Starts with a D. But he's actually like a SoundCloud rapper now, and
I heard that.
yeah, we're like friends on Facebook. I had no idea that like that we were friends on Facebook nonetheless, and like I'm pretty sure he like follows me on Instagram and shit too.
That's what's
I
up.
don't know if he's I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say that he's like a fan of my music. I couldn't tell you, but yeah, I just like randomly saw that he's like making rap music and trying to pursue like a underground rap career now.
I'll tell you what, he did I haven't heard his music, but I did actually hear about that because Ghost the Demented, who's another artist on my label, is very heavy into the horror cons. He's a vendor at a lot of them. He goes to a lot of them. He sells a lot of horror memorabilia and collectibles. And
Nice.
he's run his own store and has another store that's about to launch. And he has actually met him before too and actually hung out with him before. And he had mentioned to me hanging out with him that I think that he mentioned to Ghost that he was rapping actually because Ghost is a rapper. So that's actually how I heard about it. So that's kind of funny that you mentioned that. I've never heard any of his music, but that's pretty cool that he's following that dream. I will tell you what, that creepy little fucker nailed it though. As far as a young Michael Myers, he definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, no disrespect to him, he's a strange looking kid, and his look and the way that he hit the acting in the movie, it definitely was creepy. And like I said, I know some people love the remakes, some people don't. Either way, fuck you, I don't care. I love it. And I think it's a great remake. There's a few that Rob Zombie did an article a while back where he pinpointed and named several remakes that he thought were butchered. Now, I did agree with him on most of them, but not all of them. And he says, if I'm going to do a remake of Halloween, I'm going to do it justice. This was before it came out. And then he released it and blew my fucking mind. And then he released the second one, which blew my mind again. Now, I know he added some elements that were never into it. He added a heavy satanic element, which I was completely cool with. And I know that he added some more backstory that was never in the original, but I love that. I love the fact that he gave us more gripping nature to it than just such a vague outline that John Carpenter gave us. Now, talking about movies, and it doesn't have to just be horror, what is your favorite movie of all time?
All-time favorite is Breakfast Club.
It's an awesome movie. I love The Breakfast Club, and I've seen The Breakfast Club probably, and I mean this is just estimating, but not joking, at least 170 times.
Oh yeah,
and that sounds crazy, but I have some type of weird thing that anytime I would see it come on TV, whether I was young or to today, it comes on and I turn it on and I watch it. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it so many times I could say the fucking whole movie word for word.
Oh yeah,
but
I quit that movie.
I just love watching it. I don't know. I just think it's a great time. I can't think of the dude's name.
Judd Nelson?
Ben. Is that Bender?
Yeah,
No, that's
Judd Nelson.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he did a good job on that, and I think if I remember, and I could be wrong in this, there was a movie called not The Secret Garden. That's a different movie. There was a movie
I
where
love
it was
that movie too.
That's a long time since I've seen that. But there was a movie where I think he was actually a serial killer and he killed women and threw them in a fucking lake, and it was his garden.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I actually referenced it in one of my songs one time, where it was about this serial killer who killed women, and he tied cinder blocks to their ankles and he threw them in the water, and they sunk down to the bottom, and that was like his flowers. They were growing, and at the bottom of the water, he just had all these women just floating from these cinder blocks, and they were like a garden of dead women. And it was a really fucking morbid concept, but I loved it. And if I am thinking correctly, he was the serial killer. And that's the only things that I really know him from is that and The Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
he's been in a couple other things, but nothing that like blew me away.
Yeah. Breakfast Club was always the one that the role of his that always drew me to it. And the reason why I consider it my favorite movie is just because, like at the time when I was growing up was, like when I was still in school, I started watching it at like a super early age when I was in like elementary school and stuff. But then also religiously watched it through like middle school. And, middle school is kind of the time where you're trying to like figure yourself out type stuff. And
absolutely.
So I went through phases. Like 6th grade, I was like dressing like a huge wigger, and then 7th grade, I was like super preppy, and then 8th grade was when I like transitioned and started listening to The Used which is my all time favorite band. My friend introduced me to them in the 8th grade, and I went from like being super preppy to super like emo goth kid or whatever. So like I finally found where like I felt most comfortable in, like where I was supposed to be rather than where somebody was making me be. And then so that movie, just like the whole like moral of the story, like I always got along with every friend group, and I never understood that, like, because like when I dressed like a like a wigger kid or whatever, I was still friends with everyone. I was cool with the preps, I was cool with the nerds, I was cool with everybody. So, and then even when I was preppy, that's when everybody thought that like, oh, cool, like oh, he's gonna be, or he's popular, whatever. Like hung out with like the cool crowd, I guess you'd say. But then 8th grade, when I transitioned, I wasn't being myself, being preppy. Like I just wasn't comfortable doing it. My dad pretty much just made me like that. But 8th grade, I finally just stopped caring, but still tried to like get along with everybody, like all the friend groups and stuff like that. But the people that I considered, were my friends and stuff like that from when I was preppy and known from playing sports with them and shit, they just all fucking, as soon as I switched over to being like emo or whatever, they all just like did not give a fuck about me anymore. This was the same grade that I was in when my dad passed away. So like I had to go through that pretty much, like losing all my so-called friends and whatnot. And they all just like wrote me off. It was just like, nah, like I'm not cool with you. You're weird now type shit. And so that movie just kind of like helped me through that situation as well. It was just kind of like, all these different types of kids are stuck in detention with each other, and they start to learn more about each other and understand each other's. And that's kind of like what I wanted from, my school experience. So that's why it's like my favorite.
Yeah, it defines all the different groups of school and how things were and how we look at each other and how all these different cultures that would have never gotten along, people within the school, had become friends in that moment. Definitely one of my absolute all-time favorites. I had a huge crush on Claire, Molly Ringwald. I just wanted to bang her as a kid for years. I was just always like, oh my god, that. And then 16 Candles she was in, and a bunch of teen movies back then, and she just was fine. I figured
I'm also a redhead, so like I've always had like a attraction to redheads. I've never like dated a redhead or anything like that. But yeah, like celebrity redheads has been like a guilty pleasure, especially specifically the role Claire.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those redheads. They're crazy. Now I looked up the movie. Judd Nelson was in it. He was the guy who was the killer in it. It's Cabin by the Lake.
Cabin by the Lake. I don't think I ever saw that one.
Yeah, you should check it out. He plants the women in his water to make his underwater garden. And it is pretty interesting. Yeah, it's definitely fucking morbid. But we love morbid here. We love crazy shit. And, Are you, and don't be afraid to say no if you're not, but do you read much? I know a lot of times people say I don't read at all, and some people are big fans of reading. Are you someone who likes to read?
I don't read books, but like I read, things things that interest me. Like I've always been a movie guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I never read a full Harry Potter book, but I love the Harry Potter movies. So
Okay.
like
Yeah, there's
I'm
nothing wrong
not
with that.
yeah, like I'm not big on reading books, but like I'll research and read things that like interest me on the internet or whatever. But as far as reading books, no.
I took a big turning point years ago. When I was a kid, I always loved to read, but I always had a really hard time reading when I was younger. I would try to read, I'd get like 5 pages in, and my focus would leave. I was really like attention deficit, couldn't pay attention to it. I'd have the hardest time in the world reading a book, even though I wanted to really read the damn book. And then I got older. It was like a switch happened. My wife bought me a book, a Stephen King book. It was Mr. Mercedes series. That was a trilogy. And she brought me home a book one day and gave it to me. She's like, "Here, honey, I bought you this book." And I thought that was very peculiar because we had been together for a while and I don't read. And even though I'd mentioned before I wanted to read, and I was like, "Oh, thanks." She's like, "I just thought you might want to check this out. It sounds very interesting. Sounds like it'd be up your alley." And she's like, "Man, who knows? Maybe you'll get into reading." Well, I picked it up and started reading it, and it was different than it was the years prior. I started reading it, and I didn't put that fucking book down. I cranked that book down out in a couple days, went and bought the second and third one, cranked those out, started just reading up a storm, and then, in the last 4 years, I've read probably, Christ, I don't know, over 100 some books, 100 novels. I love it. It helps give me a lot of, personally, I love it. It helps give me a lot of ammunition for writing, gives me a lot of ideas for concepts and songs. But there's not a lot of readers out there. So I always just ask that question, if I get a chance, is someone to read it?
Yeah,
Every now and
and
then I find someone that is.
I like that you bring up that point too, because I've been wanting to like kind of force myself to start reading more for that exact point so I can like get more inspiration, because a lot of my inspiration for all the like dark stuff that I write about is either from horror movies that I've seen and I make references to, or as if like I'm a screenwriter for a movie and I'm making up my own scenarios type of deal. So it's not like, like people make fun of rappers for, lying about it, but I don't really consider it lying. I just look at it as if I'm writing out my own horror movie or my own horror scene or whatever. So like I've gained a lot of inspiration off of movies, but I feel like reading would definitely help further my creativity. So like, yeah, I'm glad that you brought that point up because
It really does. It really does help out. I mean, it helps give you, ideas that you might not normally have. And that doesn't have to just be horror. I mean, I read a lot of horror because I make a lot of horror type content, but I read all kinds of
stimulates your
stuff.
brain. It stimulates your brain with words rather than visuals. So
It
like
does.
you're looking at words and then you kind of like pick up more on words and subconsciously like you might not even realize that it came from inspiration from a book or something that you've been reading. But it could be a word that you never would have used if you didn't read that paragraph or read that chapter or whatever.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Whenever you're reading, compared to a movie, and I love movies too, but when you're watching a movie, it's laid out in front of you what the story is, how it looks. You can't sit there and say, okay, well, I've seen the castle in the movie, but I don't want that castle. I want my own castle in my mind. Envision yours because you're seeing the other one. Whereas when you read a book, you paint that picture. You paint the story. It's someone else's words, but you're the one filling in all the blanks. When you're writing a song, you're painting and filling in all the blanks on the beat.
Yeah.
So it's very similar in that regard that you're painting a picture just like you are with a book. And like I said, it can be anything that you read that gives you inspiration. Just so happens for me, I really like horror books and I like to read and get that thrill out of the book. Everything from Stephen King to Dean Koontz to Matt Shaw, who is one of the sickest motherfuckers on the planet. If you've never out there, folks, ever read a book by Matt Shaw, do it. It'll warp your fucking mind. You'll never come back from it. But I think everyone should. His shit is out of control. And then I can't think of the author's name right now, but there was a book called Survivor, and it was written by a guy. He had a Hispanic name. He passed away actually. He wrote a book called Survivor, and it was a guy from here in Pennsylvania, and it also is up there with Matt Shaw. It was one of the most disturbing things that I've ever read. There was moments of the book, and I'm not saying like a lot of people read a book and say it was so scary I had to close it for a little while. No, that's never bothered me with fear. But these books, there's been several times I've had to shut the book and walk away from it because I'm like, what in the fuck did I just read? Like, that is the sickest, most warped shit that I've ever thought of. And I'm a warped individual, and I'm read stuff that I'm like, wow, okay. So if you're into the really extreme shit out there, people, make sure you check out Matt Shaw, and kudos to him on all the fucked up shit that he's poisoned my mind with. Now,
Fuck yeah.
absolutely. Now, we have a little bit of time left. I want to do one of two things. We're going to first jump into your other song, come back. I have one or two more questions for you. We'll let you go ahead and give your shout-outs, let people know where they can check out your music, and we'll finish up the show for the evening. But we're going to go ahead and jump in real quick to Abort. If you are listening out there, guys, this is Torchfvce, and this is his song, Abort. And we'll be right back on Covering the Underground Radio Podcast Show.
Yeah. Yeah. Tucked in my jeans, yeah. Fuck you to labels, give no fucks about strings, bitch. I do this myself like there is no between. I'm second bodies, yeah. I serve that word to the more. I'll make you bleed, yeah. Keep that blood off my floor. I'm in the dungeon, yeah. With like 5 fucking whores while they fuck on my mans, bitch. I go through your purse. She had an abortion, now that pussy haunted. I'll exercise it like it's being taunted. Even my semen like, yeah, bitch, I'm on it. She sucking me dry like a succubus fun. She had an abortion, now that pussy haunted. I'll exercise it like it's being taunted. Even my semen like, yeah, bitch, I'm on it. She sucking me dry like a succubus fun. Yeah, bitch, I'm psycho. Run me up, no one's safe. Bitch, I'm psycho. Stay the fuck out my way. Bitch, I'm psycho. Run me up, no one's safe. Bitch, I'm psycho. Please stay the fuck out my way.
And you heard it, folks. That is Abort by Torchfvce, a nice little diddle that he did there. As we were talking about on the break, it has replay value because it's quick, but it's to the point. It pounds. And if you like that, make sure you check out his music, support him, go out to his shows, show him love, and just be a good fan. That's what we're bringing here with the show. We bring a lot of fun individuals on here, interview them, and find out who they are. So if you like what you're hearing out there, make sure you hit that share button, as I already said. Hit the like button, tell your friends and family, and share us around. If you are an artist out there listening and you want to get yourself on the show, email me at brutalbusinessent@gmail.com. Again, that's brutalbusinessent@gmail.com, and let us know. Put in the subject line inquiry on UTU. That's inquiry on UTU, which is Uncovering the Underground. And I'll certainly check you out. If you're out there and you just want to get your music featured on the Uninterrupted Underground Music Hour, just send us over 2 songs. I'll check them out. If I like them, I'll put both the songs in rotation. If you don't make it in rotation, I apologize. Not everybody can. I have to feel that it makes a certain fit to the show. And if you're a fan listening out there and you want to see a certain artist on and want me to reach out to them, I certainly will do so. If you have questions, concerns, anything you want to address, or ideas for the show, you can hit us up on that same email as well. All right, so we want to jump into a couple other questions, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. This is one that a lot of times people ask, and I always like to hear someone's answer. So this is your typical interview question that a lot of people ask. But if you could work with anyone out there, and it can be alive or dead, it doesn't matter, but who is the influencer person? And sometimes it can be off the wall. It doesn't have to be in rap. You could pick someone in a fucking bluegrass band for all I care. But who is the one person or the band out there, whoever, that if you could work with and collaborate on one project or one song together, that you would ultimately pick above everybody else?
Easy answer. Burt McCracken from The Used.
Okay.
All-time favorite band, all-time favorite singer, just because, back to what I was talking about with my dad passing away in 8th grade, kind of figuring out who I was, and then him passing away, I was introduced to the album In Love and Death. And that album, I know every word front to back. It got me through that whole stage of my life. So yeah, easily Burt McCracken.
That's awesome. And you know what? Music does wonderful things for us and helps us through crazy times in our life. And I know a band here in Pennsylvania who's world famous, but they're from actually not too far from where I originally grew up, which is War of Ages, one of my favorite metal bands of all time. And they helped me through a time like that in my life. There was a very dark period whenever I was younger. And I think a lot of younger generation goes through time periods why we don't even understand why, but we go through a suicidal stages in our life. A lot of us do, not everybody. And I was going through a pretty deep depression and suicidal stage, and why I don't know. Life's never been that bad, but sometimes our chemical imbalances in our head just throw us for a fucking loop. And I was pretty close to killing myself, and I even had my gun loaded. I was by myself. I was in my room. I had War of Ages playing, and at that point, I was pretty much going to take my life. And somehow listening, and I had my eyes closed, and it was pretty much in the next couple moments that it was going to be the moment that I had taken my life. And I just closed my eyes and I was listening to the words, and I don't remember which specific song, and that's a shame, but the lines that came out at that exact time was so fitting to what was happening right then and there that it actually made me just bust out crying and bawling my fucking eyes out. And I actually, whatever it did to me at that moment, caused me to put the gun down, man the fuck up, unload the gun, put it away, go to sleep for the night, and say, you know what, just go to bed and see if you feel the same in the morning. I woke up and somehow woke up the next morning feeling revitalized, feeling good, and never again in my life have I ever felt suicidal, have I ever had that thought, but I was in a very dark stage, and somehow just one specific section of one song of a band that I loved actually saved my life. And it was pretty crazy how music can do that to you. And I actually got to tell these guys that. I went and seen them several times, but I got to hang out with them after a show one night, and I walked up to them as just a fan. They didn't know me. I'd met them before, but they didn't remember me. And I walked up to them and told them the story of that. And a lot of times people would say, oh wow, that's great, we're glad our music did that. They were so incredibly loving, brought me in, we hung out for about an hour and a half backstage, bullshit with one another. It was a great time. I ended up leaving with a drumstick signed by all of them, a head from their drums, a couple guitar picks, several photos with them. And I'm not much of a fanboy. I don't freak out when I meet famous people by any means, but it was really dope. It was one of my favorite bands to get to meet them, network with them, and ultimately get to share a story that how their music truly did save my life. You hear about stories like that, but you never think you're going to be the one that's in it. So it's great that the Used did that for you and was able to get you through that hard time. I completely can relate because I've been there myself.
Oh yeah. Like if I were to meet Burt McCracken, like I don't fanboy anybody. I've met a decent amount of people, even people that I looked up to as a kid. Benji and Joel Madden from Good Charlotte, good friends of mine. I did fanboy a little bit when I first met them, but they're very easy to talk to, very down to earth, so made it more comfortable. But I know for a fact if I ever met Burt McCracken, I'd either cry or freak out or both.
That's okay though. I don't ever. There's people that laugh at that and be like, "Oh, he's crying right now. He met so and so, or he."
Yeah, I cried the first time I saw him live. I had no shame.
Yeah, there's no shame in it. Here's a thing, and I don't care who anybody hears this right now that's a like extreme fan of mine is probably gonna fucking laugh at me, and they'll probably use this as ammunition to make fun of me. Other rappers out there probably try to diss me on this shit. I don't even care. I went and seen Dave Matthews. I've seen Dave Matthews a few times, and I like everything. So for first and foremost, anybody listening out there, I don't give a fuck if it's extreme grindcore to certain elements of country, which I don't listen to a lot of country, but there's certain country songs I like, to blues, to anything in between. I listen to it all. I'm a true lover of music. And anybody that's like, oh, that's gay, that's fucking stupid, you know what? You're narrow-minded and you're a chump, because how can you say you're a fan of music if you don't like all music? It doesn't mean I like everything, but I like a lot of fucking music. Well, for some reason, and it probably was as the fact that I was in an altered state of mind, but I had seen Dave Matthews a few times, and I seen him this time, and I don't know what the fuck kind of magic he pulled on me. I just sat there and cried like a little fucking girl. And my wife's sitting next to me looking over. She's like, what is wrong with you? Because she loves Dave Matthews. She's actually the one who got me into him. And I just like it because it's such a big band. I mean, there's several of them upstage. It's like an orchestra almost. All on stage, all doing it, all killing it, and they're all working together on such beautiful music. And I was sitting, I'm crying my eyes out. She's like, "What in the hell is wrong?" I'm like, "I don't know." And I just cried. I don't know why. And sometimes music does crazy things to us that we can't explain, and I love it. That's the reason I do make music. It's the reason I bring folks such as yourself on and have a great time talking to you, because I love getting music out there to people. I love meeting people within the realm of music and art. It's just endless to me, and it's always something I've had a pride and a passion in doing. So definitely great to always get to kick it with people and talk about those things such as yourself. With that being said, we do have to wrap up for the evening, but I did want to give you a chance to give your shout outs to anybody that you'd like to thank or give love out to out there, and then tell the fans where they can check out your music and pick up any of your stuff at, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up for the evening.
First and foremost, again, want to shout out Young Hearst for making the connection, making this happen. It's been a good interview, had a good time. And shout out to the boy Young Hearst. Make sure you check out his music too. We have a collab song together that's out on his SoundCloud we did a couple years ago, and we're also talking about doing some new stuff. But also shout out to my Grimm brothers, Bearded Legend and Nodis. We've got plenty of stuff in the vault that's coming out very, very soon. Shout out to all the supporters on my side and your side. Everybody listening right now, you guys are the MVPs. And shout out to Rob Zombie as well.
Absolutely. Shout out to Rob Zombie. And with that being said, I did want to give some announcements real quick before I let you tell, because it kind of goes along with what you're saying. Before I let you jump into where they can check your music out at, next couple shows that we have coming up are definitely some interesting people that we're bringing on the show. Next week on the 22nd, which is next Thursday, we have a reggae ska band coming on that I'm actually a huge fan of. I didn't know about them until they inquired about being on the show about 3 months ago. And I've fallen in love with their music. They're called Fubar. They are a 9-piece band, and they are phenomenal. And they'll be on the show next Thursday. Next Saturday, we are pre-recording an episode, which we don't do too often, but we're pre-recording an episode with model Lily Rockwood. For those of you who don't know her, check out her work. She has done an extensive amount of modeling. She's been in Hustler. She's done a lot of different great things. We're very excited to bring her on the show. I'm not sure what date we're releasing that specific episode, but we are recording it next Saturday. It'll be dropping in the next couple weeks. And then the reason I'm saying all this right now is the following week, the 29th, you can check our interview with Young Hearst that we're going to be doing live right here on Uncovering the Underground. Shout out to him for making the great connection between me and you and letting me find your music. Obviously bringing you on the show. I think it was a great interview and had a great time talking to you. And then as we mentioned earlier, next week on the 21st, my other show, Celestial Oddities, will be airing its first volume of listeners' phone calls of their encounters, and we got some really good stories that were called in and told to us. The following week on the 28th, we will be doing night terrors and sleep paralysis and any other nighttime demons on that show with me and my co-host Daniel James. So a lot of great shows coming up on both of our shows. Make sure you check that and everything else out on www.teambrutalbusiness.com, teambrutalbusiness.com for all of your updates with Brutal Business. And we're going to go ahead and let you finish it out, brother. Tell us where we can check out your music, and then we'll wrap up.
Pretty much find me anywhere, any distribution streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube, you name it. I'm everywhere, SoundCloud. But definitely go to Spotify. Spotify pays me more. So if you want to check it out, go stream it on Spotify.
You heard it from himself, folks. Check it out anywhere you can check out music, but preferably on Spotify. Get this man paid. Get him some extra money to help him keep creating and doing what he's doing. We thank you for listening tonight. Hit that share button. We love you, and we'll catch you again here soon. Torchfvce, thank you for being on the show. It was a great interview, and we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we'll see you next week. Take care and have a good night. Everyone be safe.